Welcome back to the Fast Life Podcast, episode 102. This podcast is brought to you by Simpson Motorcycle Helmets. You can follow them on Instagram as well as check out their website, simpsonmotorcyclehelmets.com, and check out all the models, finishes, colorways, and options of helmets they have for your head. Check them out. I have just about every one of them personally, and I love them all. You know, honestly, it's like I like to wear the Outlaw Bandit when I'm just kind of cruising around town, or, you know, it's just there's a different helmet for every vibe, you know, realistically. And if you're like me and a lot of my friends, we just kind of like want all of them. So we just spend a lot of money on helmets, and that's kind of, I don't know, that's just what we do. So if you're interested in any of their helmets, like I said, you can check them out, simpsonmotorcyclehelmets.com. You can also follow them and all the badass people all over the world rocking the helmets and whatnot on Simpson Motorcycle Helmets on Instagram. I got my Lexan FT4 Pro right here in my hands. It just showed up a day ago. Looking forward to installing this on one of my helmets and seeing the difference between the Pro and just the FT4. Personally, I'm interested in this. One thing that we haven't really talked a lot about is the Type-C quick charge. A Type-C USB is like one of the fastest charging USBs on the market right now. So, you know, when you're basically on a long trip and you want to pull over and go get some, you know, fucking food or something from a gas station, you can like plug this in while on the road and get a good substantial charge just from a 30-minute gas stop or lunch stop or whatever. So that's one thing I'm really looking forward to and checking out on the road and seeing how much different it is. Not to mention a 15-hour battery life, the utility lamp with the SOS strobe in case you like wreck your bike and you're alone and it's nighttime. You can kind of do this and kind of hopefully be seen and get your ass saved. Obviously water resistant. Looking forward to it, man. It's supposed to be louder. It's supposed to have more battery life. It's supposed to be everything better. It's a Pro. So check out Lexan Moto on Instagram and check out LexanMotorcycle.com. Check out this product and many other badass products that they sell. And as always, you can use Fast Life at checkout and save yourself 15%. Check it out. ThunderMax Performance ECM is designed specifically for EFI-equipped Harley-Davidsons, which is a standalone tuning system that utilizes proprietary auto-tune technology with wideband oxygen sensors to deliver unmatched performance and rideability. I am also running their oil cooler fan, which if you have a 2017 and up touring model, Harley that is, you can too. It's a small price for a noticeable difference in operating temperatures. It installs under 20 minutes, and if you have the ThunderMax ECM, it pairs right up with it. And also coming out very soon, that they have a few ready for pre-release, is the command center, which basically mounts on your handlebars and allows you to see all your engine vitals. You know, if you're running T-bars on baggers, this is something I really recommend because it's going to give you your RPMs, your speed, your engine temp, and however you want to configure it on your screen, you can get all that information, which, as you know, kind of blocks the T-bars will block the view of the gauges. So this is a really interesting thing, and it's a good thing that ThunderMax is doing it. They're one of the leaders in tuning technology on fucking motorcycles. So I don't know if that's the proper term, but check them out at shoptmax.com and ThunderMax EFI on Instagram. As always, guys, John Jessup's Team Dream Rides is your go-to shop in NorCal for bike sales, bike builds, maintenance, and in-house dyno tuning. Stockton, California. It's probably not close to a lot of us, but we have a lot of listeners out there, so maybe that's close to you. Stop by, check it out, see what they can do for you. And if you're unfortunate and not living in that area, check out teamdreamrides.com. They are bringing on new products regularly and are now offering 100 days, same as cash financing on all products. All you need is a bank account and a job. And don't forget to use offer code FASTLIFE for 10% off and give John and the team a follow at DreamRinesJohn on Instagram. Paint Huffer Metal Flake is the industry standard when it comes to flakes, pearls, and other custom paint things that you're going to need for your masterpieces. So check out painthuffer.com. Use FastLife12 at checkout for 10% off. Follow Paint Huffer Metal Flake on Instagram and stay up to date on all the product releases and the works of art produced by many artists from around the globe. Me and Brian just kind of finalized, I think, our first colorway that we're going to be offering through the Fast Life Garage, and it's going to be like a champagne color, which I've been really interested in doing one for a while, and I'm playing with color ideas for my FXR paint job, and I think I'm going to gonna go this route. So stay on the lookout. There's a lot of badass painters already with good ass flakes out there. Execution Style, Tukey has one. Smith Concepts. There's even a Chop Cult flake. Check them all out. PaintHuffer.com, and like I said, Fast Life 12 at checkout for 10% off. Big Bear Performance is the go-to for high-quality performance products for your FXR, Dyna, Softail, and performance baggers. Along with being the industry leader in Olin suspension sales, service, and tuning, check out BigBearPerformance.com, and you can always give Kevin a call and get the info and answers for your motorcycle upgrades at 909-479-7788. What is up, everyone? Welcome back to the Fast Life Podcast. I want to thank you guys for joining us again. We have a very paint-centric podcast for you guys this week. ElBugs did it on Instagram. He's one of the OGs in the game. He's been painting and doing the lowrider style stuff for so long, and he's a very respected guy in our industry. Along with him, we have Brian from Paint Huffer, and we have Matt Andrews from Hypnotic Air, which you guys have heard previously on an episode. So really excited to have these guys on. I think we just drank beer and had a good time, and that's kind of what's fun about doing these podcasts at times. I also want to thank all you new Patreon supporters, man. You guys are really fucking coming through for us and helping us out. And I'm going to make that money go somewhere, and you're going to notice it, man. I promise you this. So I appreciate the support. I appreciate the help. And like I said before, if you ever are interested in doing it, go to our website, fastlifegarage.com. You can see a link right there on the homepage. Donate $1, whatever you like. We have some things that we're going to be giving away coming next month. I'm not going to tell you about it. You're just going to have to be on there. And a little bit of a rant here. We get emails and messages on Instagram a lot about people that you guys want us to have on. But realistically, I appreciate it. We have a list of people, and we have a lot of people that we know of that we just are waiting for the right time to get in front of them. But there's a little message board on the Patreon chat room. If you want to bring it up on there, I'd much more like to engage that type of conversation on our Patreon chat. So I appreciate all you guys checking us out and doing all this stuff, and looking forward to doing more and more of these podcasts in the coming year. So anyway, here we go. ElBugs did it.
Hey guys, you ready to let the dogs out?
Fast Life Podcast.
We fat first, man.
You want me to break the ice?
Yeah.
All right, I'll break the ice.
Well, we're rolling, so break that ice, man. How y'all doing?
Good.
Phoenix,
we're doing
man.
Good.
It's finally not hot in here, right?
Oh man.
Y'all just now.
Finally cooling
You
down.
got the right time of year. Well,
I was wanting to ride this whole week on Brian's bike, but then I get here and it's storming. I left the hotel a while ago, and it's still like a storm in the background over there.
yeah,
That's crazy, man. I come here the one time it rains.
we get the evening storms.
One time. Yes, the one time for Arizona.
So, I mean, what do we call you? ElBugs, or how does that work?
Bugs from Bugs Auto Art.
Okay, there we go. I suck at this, like trying to speak Spanish lingo.
It's all good.
El, is that just like?
I go on Instagram. ElBugs did it.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was actually, I've been following you for a long time. Obviously, just fellow painter, striper, all those kind of things. And a while ago, I was in the hotel room. I was like, man, I haven't seen your Instagram in a long time. And I was just scrolling down, like, you know how the Instagram thing works, right? Like if I don't like and comment on your shit constantly, I don't see it on my feed.
Okay.
So, I follow all these badass painters, and every once in a while I'm like, man, like, why haven't I seen it? So I went back and I was just nerding out for about 15 minutes looking at these paint jobs and stuff like that. And I'm really into vans right now, so I got to where you were taking a picture with your van.
Oh yeah, my little Astro.
That's just badass. I like that shit.
I can't wait to redo it again.
You still have that? It's over in the back of your shop. That's
No, I still drive that thing.
Okay, which is the one that you had in the back of your shop? The one that's all.
That's probably it.
That's gonna be it. Okay.
Yeah.
Good deal.
Nice.
Yeah.
Let's go work on it tonight.
I want to start on it soon.
I thought you were talking about Vans, like the shoes,
I know that's what I'm
No.
thinking as well.
I don't know.
because I just painted a set.
I saw that. It was pretty cool, man.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, the guy just sent me another set.
That I've been looking into that. I was like, I was doing something. I was there's like a huge culture of the painting shoes thing, and I didn't know it was like. I knew that it was there, but I never saw it. And there's these companies have these awesome paints that they can do all that shit with it. So
Yeah,
I just don't know. I mean,
I was using Createx.
You were? Yeah.
Yeah.
that works. But yeah, there's like companies that make paint so you can repair like Jordans and shit.
Yeah.
And bring the colors back in or do your own colorways, and it holds so you can like walk around them and it doesn't like chip off.
Yeah.
So,
That cool stuff.
Yeah, the leather stuff. Like, there's a different process to leather prep. I like to use like Sim. The Sim line has like a leather prep, but yeah, for just Vans, I mean, it's canvas, so you just use acrylics.
Yeah.
You know.
well, man, let's we've had you on the podcast before, Matt. So let's go back and let's really get a foundation on you when you started painting. Kind of like that background history on your skill set, man. So are you originally from Phoenix? Or are you a transplant here? Or?
From Mesa, Arizona. It's funny because I always used to tell Mom, I said, Mom, why wasn't I born in LA? I said, instead I was born in Idaho. I go, what's in Idaho,
Yeah.
But it's actually pretty nice out there. But
You're from Idaho?
Well, I was born there.
Oh, shit. Crazy.
Yeah, Coldwell.
Nice.
So, yeah, it's nice up there. I was there a couple weeks ago. Went to go explore.
Family up there still, or are they all down here?
I got a little bit of family down there.
Nice. I haven't been to Idaho yet. That's one area I haven't been, so I want to ride through there.
Yeah, went out there for a big bash. Jeff Deavy threw it out there, and I'll tell you what, I mean, that guy's amazing too. So when I started, I actually started in grade school.
For real?
Yeah, I used to draw a lot, and my uncles and aunts and my grandma would go out to Northern California in the summertime to go work out in the crops, to go pick the fruit. And I used to think, oh, we're going on vacation. Yeah. Well, to me, it was a vacation because I thought it was fun. But at a young age, what caught my eye was the semis going down the road. I'd be in the back of my grandpa's truck, and I look at these semis coming up, and then I started noticing more and more the fancy lettering, the striping, and it caught my eye. And it caught my eye, and it's funny because I started seeing hot rods and dragsters, and at a young age I was like really, really intrigued with this stuff.
Yeah.
And I remember going to the grocery store with my grandma and my mom, and I seen this badass little truck parked right there, like a 56 Ford. It was like a root beer brown, and I noticed a pinstriping. I go, oh, check that out.
Yeah.
So my mom and then go, you can come in the store. I go, no, I'm gonna wait right here. I'm gonna check out this truck. So with my finger, I was following the pinstriping.
Yeah.
My uncle caught me, goes, hey, what are you doing? I go, well, I'm following the design with my fingers. Don't touch that truck because you're gonna scratch it. So I started learning, look but don't touch at that time. Yeah. So I just remember just coming back home and drawing. And then
what time frame, what years were these?
Shoot, these are like in the early 70s, being a kid. But being a kid back then,
what was an art influence at that age?
You know what it really was? I don't know if you remember this. You guys probably don't remember this, but remember that movie, The California Kid, with Martin Sheen?
It sounds familiar, but if you ask me anything about it, I know I haven't seen
it. Yeah,
it's
an old movie. Yeah, and that's where they got that one hot rod with the flames on it.
Yeah,
and I just remember being a kid and just seeing the previews. Hey, you know what? Back then, Thursday night, California Kid. And I remember just begging my mom, let me stay up so I can watch this movie. She goes, no, you can't. You gotta go to school. I go, please, Mom, let me stay up. I gotta see this movie. So I seen that movie, and
no DVR back then.
No. Yeah. So of course, I had to stay up.
Amazon Prime.
Yeah,
put the effort in.
Exactly. So once I seen that, it was like a drug. The more I seen, the more I wanted.
Yeah.
So every day was just, to me, was cars, and I remember riding my bike and I would see this hot rod coming up, and back then there was a lot of gassers, and I would just sit right there with my bike and just watch them go by. And
so is this in Arizona at the time?
It's in Arizona.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, because by that time, I mean, we'd already came back from California. That vacation was over. So I just started seeing more stuff, and I'd go to the grocery store and pick up the hot rod magazines and anything that I seen, I was just on it.
Yeah.
But then when I got to high school, I just I started getting in trouble with I was hanging out with the bad crowd.
Yeah.
And I just remember like, man, I'm doing stupid stuff, you know. Back then, you know, I was a hardcore cholo, you know, just wearing the Pantalones and shaving my head and carrying a switchblade with me. And just cool. I was getting in some good trouble. And I remember I had got busted, you know, and I remember they had me in the holding cell. And one thing I'll never forget, I just like, man, what am I doing to my life, you know? I mean,
how old were you at this time?
I was like 16, 17. And I just remembered when I was there, and I just asked God to help me get out of this mess I was in. Because this one detective had a hard on for me. He really wanted to get me, and he wanted to lock me up, you know. And I just remember just asked God to help me get out of this mess, and I don't know how, but I got out of it.
Yeah.
The next day, I used to always carry a little 25 automatic with me, and I got that little gun. I took it all apart. I got all of my khaki pants, all of my cholo outfit, you know. I put it in a trash bag, waited for the trash guy to come pick it up. My gun, I took my over my bike. I took it apart and I went through it in different garbage cans. So I didn't have the temptation of picking everything back up and starting over. And I remember.
Was like the culture, the neighborhood that you were in, was it kind of like this or get fucked up kind of thing? Or, you know, were they like, was it hard to not be on that path? You know what I'm saying?
It was and it wasn't, but it was a thrill for me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Going out there and being dumb, you know what I mean? But I just knew that there was something different for me, you know? And I just remember just one day, my buddy goes, hey, let's go cruise Central. And that's where all the Lords were at here in South Phoenix. And I remember going out there, and I'll never forget the car. It was in front of me. It was a Caprice Classic, and at that time, the big name was E.T., Eddie Torres. And he did all the lowriders. I just seen this car, his ass end locked up, the hydraulics, and I seen the pinstriping. I was like, there's that stuff again, you know?
Yeah.
So it caught my eye again. So I got next to the car, you know, and the guy thought I was Mad Dog. I said, no, I'm not bad. Mad Dog, I'm just looking at admiring your ride, you know, I like the pinstriping. So he let me look at it, and I went back to the old stuff again, you know, striping and.
How was it? So what time was this? Like late 70s?
Oh, after that, no, this was already like in the 80s.
Okay,
early 80s.
Yeah, well, there seemed like a big influx of custom paint going on in that time for lowriders.
Yes.
The kind of the birth of the mini truck movement and you know, vans with the fucking murals.
Oh,
and all that shit. So it seemed like a good time to be picking that up. You know what I mean? So what was like? Did you like literally just start in the striping part of it, or did you kind of like go into a paint and body kind of?
The thing I started first was I had a friend of mine, Jesse Anaya. He was in California. He moved over here, and we became friends. And actually, with him, he was gonna. At that time, he was doing a lot of custom paint jobs, and when we became friends, I go, what'd you charge me to paint my '64 Impala at that time when I had one? And he goes to me, $900. Well, at that time, you know, I was just a kid, you know, I was like, $900? I go, you're crazy. That's a lot of money. He just laughed at me. And he goes to me, you know what, I'll tell you what. He tells me, it's like about a week later, he goes, I'll tell you what, he goes, I'm going to charge you $600, but you're going to help me. You're going to do everything I tell you to do, sanding, prepping, taking bumpers off. I said, okay. But when I did that, that's when I started realizing this is a lot of work. But even before then, before Jesse, when I was going to high school, I used to have a good friend of mine. His name was Richard Gutierrez. They called him Junie. He was one of my real good friends. And one day he stopped going to school. And I just remember at that time when I was going to high school, I was doing upholstery. So I went to go look for Junie because they said, oh, he's working with his dad at the body shop. It was a dealer body shop back at that time.
Yeah.
They told me who was at. And I went over to go look for him. I told his boss at the front gate, I go, hey, I'm looking for Richard Gutierrez. Oh, he's in the back. So he let me go back there. And I remember Junie was just working on his 64 Impala at the time. And it was just, he was spraying like a mad dog. I mean, there was fumes everywhere. And as soon as I walked in and fumes hit me, I had to catch myself because it was like, oh man, what is this stuff? I go, it smells good. You know? So it was like a drug.
Was it like enamel at the time?
No, it's lacquer.
Lacquer, that's right,
Yeah, it was lacquer.
I like how y'all all just had 64 Impalas like laying around like it wasn't shit back then. Like,
and it worked. My first 64 Impala I bought for $75.
Damn.
Yeah, believe that. You know, and I sold it, And then I bought another 64 Impala for $300. And he needed work, but it was there.
Yeah, yeah.
But I mean, back then, I mean, you can find Impalas that were like a dime a dozen.
Yeah, I went through a C10 phase about 3 years ago, and my grandfather and my uncle they would just, I bought a couple of them to try to make one good one out of it. And like, man, we used to buy these things done, like hopped up for like, we used to trade CD players out of cars for these things. You know what I mean?
That's crazy.
You know, like in the 80s, like when the CD player like came out that you could put in your car, I remember my stepdad at the time traded that for a crotch rocket, like a sport bike.
Oh man,
you know what I mean? Like it just, you know, crazy fucking, you know, pawn shops were the shit back in the day. Everybody had pawn shop stories and stuff, but you know, go ahead.
That was crazy. So I just remember, you know, Junie was spraying up a storm in there, and I just smelt that, and I was like, the next day I went back to the high school and I told my counselor, I want out of upholstery, I want to go into the body shop.
Yeah.
So he let me make that trade.
That's nice.
Yeah, so
that's really cool.
So then I started doing body work. I started painting, you know, and I used to have my 64 Impala kind of looked like, remember Cheech and Chong?
Yeah, with the dingleberries.
Yeah. And people tell me, oh, here comes Cheech, you know, because they look at my car, you know, because it was all different colors, you know. The fender was one color and sand spots and all this stuff, you know. And one day I just asked the teacher if I could stay late. So I did the body on the 64. I primed it in shop class. And so I couldn't wait. So the next day, I mean, when I was rolling up with my car, like it was like, whose car is that? I go, that's my car, you know?
Yeah.
But it's funny because back then, I mean, I wasn't the most popular kid in school, but a few people believed in me. Some people were like, oh, he'll outgrow that stuff.
Yeah.
He'll never be the man. I go, I'm not trying to be the man. I go, I just like what I, you know, I see, and I want to do it.
That's kind of cool though. Back then, that you could actually like play with that kind of thing, like. Nowadays, with the cost of materials and stuff, it's like there's no way some kid at school is just gonna be like, you know what, I'm gonna stay late tonight and like I'm gonna go ahead and throw a couple coats. You know, high school kid, a gallon of clears, $300, and you know that kind of thing. So it's really cool to hear that, you know, like you could organically do that. And the one thing that, you know, we'll get back to the story, but like trying to get younger guys in that high school era to like be stoked about doing this, because I've tried so many times to go to the vocational classes at high schools and see if there's any students that are interested in this stuff.
It's not the same anymore.
To come and either I'll pay you, but you're getting low. Like you're gonna sweep the booths, you're gonna sweep the shop, you're gonna pick the tape off the ground, but then I'm gonna give you a job that's gonna teach you something. You know, like you're gonna pay your dues, like we were talking about a while ago, and I'm gonna show you something that you can't learn in school. You know what I mean? And the whole time, you know, after he sweeps and he's like, all right, I'm like, come watch this. They're like this.
On their phone,
You know what I mean? Like they never. There's this part of like I experienced it where you just got to sit in a garage at some point in time and like being around a car, because I fell in love with cars before motorcycles. You know what I'm saying? So being able to sit in a garage and dream about what you want to do to this and how you want to do it, and have a friend or a dad or somebody like that you can share that with. It's just a lot. It means a lot, you know.
It does. And I'll tell you what, I mean, when I was a kid, I mean, I used to wish that I could have somebody, a neighbor, somebody that worked on cars. But, you know, back then, when I was a kid, I mean, you know, if you went on someone's car, like, you know, they tell you, like, you know, get away, kid, you know, scratch my car. And like, you know, if you only knew how much of a deep desire I had, I mean, I'll wash your car, whatever it takes, you know what I mean? I just want to be around this car, you know, but I tell you what, I mean, I was persistent. And I even back then, I'll tell people, hey, you know, if you teach me how to paint, you don't got to pay me, just show me.
Yeah.
You know, but I guess a lot of people didn't really think I had it in me.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember I had asked this one painter here in town, and I don't want to say his name because I don't think I'm talking bad about him, but I asked him for a job, and I just remember he looked at me up and down. He goes, nah. I go, what do you mean, nah? He goes, you'll never do it. I go, how do you know? You haven't even given me a chance. He goes, I can tell by just looking at you, you'll never do it.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of walked away with my head down. I was like, man, I can't believe that dude just put me down, didn't give me a chance.
Yeah.
You know, and it's funny because now to this day, he looks at my work and he says, wow, you did it.
Yeah, that's got to feel good though, right?
Yeah, it does, because I was so determined after he told me that. A year later, I had done my first candy.
Mm-hmm.
And back then, after that, I mean, that's when the mini trucks were in, and I had done a Suzuki Samurai, candy cobalt blue, and I tell you what, that little thing was sharp.
Nice.
And when I looked at it, I go, I did that, you know, so it just kept getting better and better. But I had a lot of influences back then, a lot of people that I would help. And, you know, I started, you know, incorporating my pinstriping and my paint jobs and my graphics and a lot of stuff back then I was self-taught.
Yeah, I mean, hell, I think most of mine was self-taught too until, you know, because I started in 2004.
Yeah.
And I grew up in a paint and body shop. My whole family's painters, right? Not like badass car painters. Like we had custom paint and body on the name, but it's collision work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's where the money's at, really.
Yeah.
You know?
So it was, you know, I grew up in that, so I fucking hated it. I didn't want to do it.
Yeah.
I didn't. In high school, I did not want to paint. My grandfather did it. My dad did it. My uncle did it. I'm like I don't want to do. I want to be the guy that got out. I want to be an architect.
What do you mean? You wanted to be an architect?
Yeah, I actually went to. I went all. So in high school, we had vocational classes too. They had the welding, the paint, you know, the auto body class, and the hair, you know, the cosmetology and shit. And I took the drafting and design.
Yeah.
And it's crazy though, you know, how it worked out because I ended up being good at the computer because this is when the computers were taking over. So you weren't on the drafting table anymore. You were doing it all in AutoCAD, and I was good at AutoCAD. You know what I mean? So I ended up getting a job doing draftsman work while I was in high school. You know what I'm saying? So I was like literally going, you know, half day classes and shit, and you leave at like 12 or 1 o'clock as a senior, and you go to a job, and there's these like broken men in there sitting at a desk hating their life, doing something, and I'm doing the same job they're doing, but they went to school for 4 years to get a 4-year degree to do the same thing. And so I'm sitting there and I'm just thinking like, man, like I thought doing architecture was going to be creative, and it wasn't. It was the shit that that's not glamorous, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
designing
so,
like strip malls and shit.
not even no design whatsoever. It was all about, because at this point, all the companies, all the brands, all the commercial was where the money was at when architecture, right? Nobody's coming to you going, you know, hey man, I know you just started architecture, but can you design me a house? Here's 20 grand. You know what I mean? It didn't work that way. You know, you go to fucking like a grocery store, and while you're in line and you're getting Snickers, you look up, there's 500 plans, like floor plans, you know, $3.99 little magazine book right there at the stand, and you can flip through and see all these cool floor plans, and then you can order floor plans from the actual this magazine for $200, and then you take that and you go to an architect in the county or city or state or whatever however the system works, and you pay them to take the land, these plans, and make it work. That's what an architect's job was. So that's what was happening with commercials. So Motel 6, they're building those things everywhere. They're building all these hotels everywhere. The brand has all the designs for the hotels. You buy the designs you come in and you want to start a business. I'm going to do a Motel 6. I buy this. Then I go to a local architect and I get you to make it ADA approved for all the handicap stuff, all the local like ordinances and stuff like that. And that's your job. That's it.
Wow.
You know, and I'm like, fuck this.
That sounds boring.
Yeah. So I was thinking like, okay, this didn't work. Like maybe I should jump into the construction side of it.
Thank you, buddy.
You know, I was thinking like if I go into construction, then I can have the satisfaction of seeing something on paper come to life and feel like, fuck, I did that. You know, so that's why when I go through construction sites and I see these guys building highways and, you know, all this crazy shit, I'm like, I wonder if they have a sense of pride after, like, do they get their family after they build this badass bridge or they're part of it and go, yeah, I did this. I did, not all of it, but I am a part of this city's history now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that's got to be prideful, you know what I mean? But
yeah, it is. And you know what? It's true. I mean, what you're saying, because to me, I mean, I always would love seeing a car that I did, and then it gets put together, the rims, the interior, and you go to the show and it's like, wow. You know, to me, I'll be on a natural high, like, I did that?
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, it's amazing.
When things, because I never see things together until it's like at a show or something, or in a magazine. I only see it on the table after I deliver it, you know? So it's not like I don't see it all together, you know? I see the beauty in each part, but I don't see it all together. But when I do see it all together, it's just like, it almost hits you in the face. You're like, whoa, like that caught me off guard. Yeah.
it really is satisfying. I mean, at one time I had like 7 guys working for me, and we would take the car apart, the moldings, the bumpers, and color sign and buff it, you know, and I was like, wow, guys, you know, we as a team, you know, we got down this car.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we go to shows together, and we just
Yeah.
had a blast, you know. But like I said, I mean, it was so different to me, you know, because I loved it.
Yeah.
I mean, I would eat, you know, and sleep, you know,
Yeah.
on paint, you know, and I tell you what, I mean, I couldn't wait to get up the next morning, like, okay, another color.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? It keeps going.
How many years did you like do the paint work and the all the motions of the job, the bodywork, paint work, all this, before you started kind of adapting into or pushing into the custom and the pinstriping and the graphics and things like that?
When I started doing this, I mean, I started pinstriping first. Oh no, wait, what was it? I started actually doing bodywork first, and then
Yeah.
painting, and then I started getting to pinstriping.
Yeah,
You know, but in my head, I always knew I wanted to do it all.
yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean?
You kind of had to in this area. Like
Yeah.
it was all. I mean, there wasn't like 400 pinstripers on. I mean, there might have been at that era though, because of the that was the trade. That
Yeah,
then.
well, back then when I started, I mean, I remember this was like already late 80s, early 90s. I can count like 10 to 15 stripers. And I'm talking maybe, and 8 of them were real good.
Yeah,
You know, all the other ones were like, they're okay, you know, but I mean, I tell you what, I mean, it was a whole different vibe back then.
yeah,
Well, there's some really good pinstripers back then.
Well, back then, the good stripers was still Tony, Ron, Butcher, E.T., and there was a few other guys, but not the
Do you think that a
They
lot
never
of those
stand out.
guys like went through like traditional sign painter type or that striping background where the sign painting that translated into pinstriping on cars kind of thing? Or
well, it depends because I think Dave Palmer was a striper and a sign painter.
yeah,
You know, remember that?
Mm-mm.
You know,
I didn't know him.
Yeah, he was both, and he was good at both of those
Yeah.
things. But I tell you what, I mean, anything with paint, I try it. You know what I mean? And I got lucky, you know, and I remember in the early 90s, I closed my shop because I knew that I still had I wanted to go a little different direction. I wanted to start lettering, doing signs, you know, and I want to learn from the best. When I went to LA back in early 90s, like I say, and it's funny because back then I would hear these painters that were in California, and funny, but I tracked one way or another. I met my heroes out there.
yeah,
Not only did I meet them, but I became friends with them,
yeah,
and that was even better because, like, you know, it's like, wow, man. I like Mario Gomez from the Candy Factory.
yeah,
You know who he is.
yeah.
He passed away, but
Oh shit, for real?
yeah,
Damn, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he was to me the best ultimate low art painter.
Wait, I might be Mario's Auto Works.
No,
Okay, I'm thinking.
Yeah, no, this is Mario Gomez. He used to work for Bill Carter,
Oh, okay.
and Bill Carter was
Yeah, I heard
You know
of
Bill
Big
Carter
Carter.
is?
Yeah,
yeah, he was badass at that time doing all the dragsters, you know, and Mario would tell me all the stories. I was like, man, I wish I was there, you know, because I mean, I would have been,
Yeah.
you know, back in the heyday of learning more stuff from these, you know, true masters. But I mean, I've been lucky to be around who I've been around, though. You know, from them guys out in the West Coast to Arizona guys, and the top dogs over here was Squeege and, you know, and Doug, you know, and Denny Bloom, and who was it? Diego Juarez, Bobby Martinez, my buddy Jesse Anaya. There was a few guys out here, but the West Coast had all the baddest painters, I thought.
So like in the 90s, like that, what was the custom paint culture like? What was it more towards, you know, like obviously the mini truck thing was blowing up in the early 90s. You had all these like Suzuki fucking,
Yeah.
all these little short, you know,
Dude,
things.
the Nissan hardbody.
Yeah.
It's the Bel Air.
I like the Toyota,
still
man.
is.
I'm a
Yeah.
Toyota
It still
guy.
is.
Toyotas and Mazda.
I like the Toyotas and Mazdas. Yeah,
Yeah.
the little B250 or 2500 or
Yeah.
two.
Yeah, they were nice. But I'll tell you what, I mean, I got lucky. Sometimes I feel like I was in the right place at the right time. I got to see a lot of stuff. And even back at that time, when I was going to school, only reason I went to school out there because I had a good friend in my cartoon. And he does
Oh,
tattoos.
Yeah, you meant the cartoon.
Yeah, and I met him at a car show, and we hit it off. And always invited me to come out to LA. I was like, I don't want to go to LA. And finally I took off out there, and that was the best thing I ever did.
That's the first time I met you. Cartoon did that show for Sage's Urban Art.
Mm-hmm.
We were over there by the Mesa Center,
Yeah.
and I had pulled up next to you, and all of a sudden I see you pulling stuff out of your trunk. And I'd always heard the name Bugs around the valley. I just moved in from San Diego, and I just got on with Intel. So you're pulling all the stuff out, and I look over at you, and I'm like, hey, are you shoplifting? You know, I'm joking with you, and you're like, hey, what's up, I'm Bugs. And Cartoon was there as well.
Yeah.
That was it. That was it up from there.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, I mean, I became friends with Cartoon and OG Abel.
Yeah.
OG Abel was another one, and
Esteban?
well, Esteban is Cartoon's right hand man,
Right.
Steve Oriole. Yeah,
Sure,
he's photographer, and I mean, I met a lot of cool people up there, you know. And then back then, I went to Los Angeles Trade Tech, and I tell you what, I mean, that really changed my way of thinking on letter forms and.
So what was
stuff
that,
like that.
Trade Tech? Was that like training in school?
Yeah, it's a trade school where they teach the lettering, the sign graphics, layout, and then they have culinary art down there, and
That's crazy.
you know what was cool about it? I just missed it, but there was a guy that was teaching how to paint hand painted murals, and I seen his work. I'm like, oh, this guy is good.
Yeah.
I was gonna sign up and said, oh, there was not enough interest, so they closed that class. I'm like, man, I just missed it. You know,
They
but-
should have just, if they would have had a better marketing team to put it out there, there would have probably been a lot of artists in our field alone.
Well, you know what?
that would love
I
that.
heard they brought something back like that. You know, and I went to a cartoon shop a few years ago, and there was some young guy that was painting some stuff, and I was looking at it, and I was amazed. And I go, how did you learn that? And he goes, Trade Tech. I go, they must have brought another kind of class back, but you know what? Anybody that wants to learn sign painting, got to go to Los Angeles Trade Tech.
Is it
you know-
still active now?
Oh, now it's a waiting list. When I
For
went,
real?
yeah, there's a waiting list down there.
Damn, I didn't even know, because like that whole art form of sign painting, which I've said this many times on this podcast, like some of my favorite painters in the industry today are sign painter backgrounds. They have so much the cleanliness of how they do their graphics. It's like the pinstriping and the lettering. It transfers real well into laying out graphics. Like you're
It does
pulling lines.
color coordination.
Yeah.
You know,
We were talking about that
background.
the other night with Tim Lowry. That's
Yeah.
exactly what you brought up at that point on there. Did Abel fall into that same group as well? I know that he was into the more like the Photoshops and doing with like a.
Well, he started in more of the airbrush thing.
He
and the
did, but you know
graffiti.
what? Abel went to Los Angeles Trade Tech for a little while too.
Okay, that's what I'd heard. I didn't know.
Yeah,
if was
he
part of that
went
mix.
over there. Cartoon went there for a little bit too, but Cartoon was a rebel. He was on that for so long.
Yeah.
It's either you're gonna quit or you're gonna get kicked out. So I think he quit.
He was,
Yeah, because the teacher at the time was Mr. Ernest. I never got to meet him, but they say he was very strict.
Yeah.
And but he was a real good teacher. I mean, if I could do things over again, I thought I had better advice, I think I'd be in a better track. I mean, I don't regret the way I've done it, but I mean, if you can talk to somebody that points you the right direction, how to do things right, you'll be that much better. I mean, because even with me, I mean, I'm always learning, I'm always looking. I never get tired of this stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, you know, like right now, it's like, to be honest with you, I'm a little bit, I don't know where paint's going right now, custom paint. It seems
Yeah.
like I look at Facebook and everybody is just copying everybody. No one's original no more. It's hard to tell. Now, is that a Candy and Chrome or is that a,
Well, okay. Well, we actually talked about this on the
We talked about this
Tim
even
Lowry
more. Yeah.
podcast. So
Oh.
as well. That's something
What
that bugs the shit out of me.
it's a catch-22, right? Because I agree that there is a lot of copying, but the problem is that no matter how you pitch this thing, people are going to see your work. And this is the thing I tell all the older guys that I know, right? It's kind of like whenever you tell the older guys, like, hey, have you seen this new thing called Instagram and Facebook?
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, I'm not into phones. I'm like, so you want to commit career suicide now, or you want to wait a couple more months and then realize that you fucked up, right? So what I try to say is like, look, man, especially guys like yourself, Matt, you create a following of people. Like, you got to think how many people follow you and are just they want to hire you to do something.
Yeah.
It's this much or whatever the pie chart is. But there are people there that look at you and they wish that they could do what you could do.
yeah.
You know, how many times do you like when OG Abel did the damn money rose?
Oh, yeah.
How many times did I would like if I could have a podcast with him for 5 minutes. Like, hey man, how do you feel about that? All right, thanks guys. Good night. Just to find out how he feels. And I hope that he would be just humbled by it, because it's got to feel great as an artist to create something that inspires masses of people to want to do art. But at the same time, if you're thinking about it in a sense of like, all right, that dude's copying me or he's copying my style, but he's not. Artists are going to find inspiration from artists, but the problem is when they don't evolve it and make it their own art. When it's like you do this color scheme and this graphic scheme, and then bam, you see the same 64 Impala again with the same graphic flow, but maybe they did a different color scheme.
You know, another thing too, as far as what kind of separates what I've found in the art game, are people that can actually take up a pencil and a pen and put it to paper and draw. And actually draw.
Yeah.
And that's where cartoon we were talking about the other night in the podcast, where he drew that on my shirt and just took it and just drew it right up for me. But I think that's what separates. A lot of times now when we see it, I see it on the Paint Huffer page, where people will copy different patterns and they'll copy other stuff. But I don't see anybody like yourself, like Jace. I see you at 10, midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning. You're out there drawing your own helmets. You're drawing your own designs.
But I mean, I'll be honest with you. I'm drawing my own shit, and every once in a while I'm like, what's Matt done lately?
Yeah.
That's inspiration.
But, I the way, because I'm such a paint fan, and I can look at anything, and I don't need to copy that, but I'm just gonna stare at it, and then I'll see how you pulled. Maybe you can see this. I'll see how you pulled a line across the side of a saddlebag. I don't fuck the paint job. Just that line inspired me. I'm like, man, that line. He found a pattern on a plane that doesn't exist.
And that's exactly what I'm talking about. That's what's going to separate.
And so that one line, I'll come back and I'll like, okay, that line is making me feel kind of some type of way or some shit,
That's true.
So then I'll come back and I'll redesign my own thing on that. But think about this. Think about those all the body shops you ever worked in, owned, and in the last 20 years gone in and done your artwork. Think about all the guys that stand around there and look at you and wish that they could do that. And think about how they're probably inspired. And unfortunately, like when you're talking about the massive amount of people in the world, like they just don't have the ability to be creative. That's the number one thing people ask me about on Instagram. How do you figure out how to do that? How do you figure out how to pick the colors? How do you know this? And like, that's the one thing that's literally, I don't know if it's trainable. It's just experience creates it.
And we touched about that the other night too, as far as the color wheel.
I think. I mean, I'm not saying that it doesn't exist, but I can imagine, in certain industries that stuff could be very hard to deal with. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, the thing about it, I mean, it's true. I mean, there's only some, you could look on there, but the way I like to do stuff, like if you did a paint job, I'll look at it, and I'll dissect it. I'm like, I like this flow right here.
Yeah.
But guess what? I'm gonna turn it a little bit more.
Yeah.
To make it my style. Mm-hmm. But the thing I'm saying about these new guys, they don't even do that. They're too lazy to do their own homework.
Right. True. And
then they want to come start a custom painter or an artist. Like, you're not an artist, you're a copycat.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There's a big difference.
Let me ask you this. Do you think it's almost better to put up a piece of art every once in a while that is just jaw-dropping, or to constantly just keep on putting out art?
You got to keep I'll give you my thing.
And I'm just gonna throw that out there.
I think that you have to live you have to put your shit out there, and you just got to focus on what you're doing and realize that people are gonna copy, people are gonna do that, and this dude from LA, he I live in Dallas, and it's like the transplant for everybody that got too in trouble in the SoCal area, so they had the next strike you're out kind of thing. So they live in Dallas now, right? So a lot of dudes from the Compton area. I used to ride a lot of bikes with like the kind of the minority side of whatever you want to say. But
dude, what's wrong with Phoenix? They just passed right through Phoenix. They're like, fuck this place. I'm gonna go to Dallas.
They can go back too easy. It's too much
of a temptation.
Yeah, some dude's probably here in Phoenix tonight, and he's probably texting some girl in LA, and he's gonna drive there to get some ass tonight.
Dude, I drove to LA and back in the same day last week.
Yeah,
that's how
same day.
Same day.
Yeah.
To drop off parts.
But Now I forgot what I was saying.
All right, sorry. I sidelined everybody's train of thought.
Yeah, we work out there.
You were talking about Compton guys coming to Dallas, and
well, he told me something a long time ago because when social media started getting big, like Facebook, I always felt the need to defend myself all the time when someone would say something about my shit that was not flattering or whatever. And he said, man, and this is probably some OG advice for anybody, but like, if you're gonna stop and yell at every dog that barks at you on the street, you're never gonna get to the end of the street. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true.
And that is not how he said it, but that's the only way I can remember it.
It works. Yeah.
You know?
that's like what you're saying. Joe Rogan, like he doesn't respond or read a lot of his comments. I mean, like almost all of them. Just because, he's just like, dude, there's
no enough time in the day.
Yeah.
You know what's weird? The thing that drives me crazy is like, we've talked about it millions of times, but I spend hours and hours at home at night, 10 o'clock, on my desk drawing paint schemes, and I have so many paint schemes that could start anybody's career. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I do this, and I work out colors, and I work out this, but you know as well as everybody, someone comes to you and goes, hey man, I want a gold flaked out paint job, candy gold, blah, blah, blah. What gold are you going to use? Maybe Spanish gold, but most of the time you fall into the pagan gold category, and then it looks like every other pagan gold thing out there. And it sucks because there's not 40 shades of silver flake with gold on it that people like. And if this dude's paying me top dollar for my shit, how am I to say, oh, well, here's the deal, man. This dude bought this gold paint job, and I'm not allowed to do this ever again, or at least for 2 months. When most of my jobs end up getting, like if I do a helmet, someone sees it, and then as soon as I post it, 40 people ask me how much, right? That's the helmet that made them ask me, right? So they're going to want something along the lines of that, you know, and how many of those people, you ever see them on your page, like when someone, you post something, a badass car, and then someone tags their painter in it?
Oh yeah, I see that a lot.
That kind of bothers me, but I get it. You know
let's copy this guy.
Hey, this is what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
If you go on Paint Huffer, any time of that, you'll always see that. Oh, I could do that. I could do that cheaper. That's one thing that bugs the shit at me. There's a lot of times where I'll delete comments like that. I'll delete that shit every time. Get the fuck out of here. I hate that shit.
The thing about it, Brian, is like, yeah, you know what? There's also many ideas, but when I do my paint jobs, I try not to copy anybody.
Right.
I really try, but what gets me is that these new guys don't even try.
No.
And you know what? That's fine if that's what they want to do. But
it's counterfeit.
Yeah.
It's totally counterfeit.
Yeah, I see that, you know, but maybe I'm wrong for saying that. I don't know, but I say that though. You know why? Because when I started doing this stuff, I always tried to be original.
Right.
Even against some of my best painters, you know, that my heroes that I've seen, I'll be too embarrassed to say, hey, look at my paint job, and then if would tell me, well, that was like a job I did. To me, if I heard that, oh man, I mean, it's better if you just suck me in the job because it probably hurt less. And I would never want to see that, you know. But that's because of respect for them and for myself.
Exactly.
And you know, maybe I'm old school. I don't know, because when I started the hard way. You know, there was no internet, no Facebook, no Instagram.
It's the same thing when I got into tattooing. There were either the guys that could pick up a pen and draw if you asked for a sleeve or whatever you would want, lettering or whatever style. That would learn that. But there were the guys who also would take the flash and just be flash artists all day long. Mm-hmm. And you know, okay, they're flash artists. Maybe they would do a really clean flash job, but I think it's still counterfeit. I think if you're going to be an artist, I think you should really at least give it that effort and try.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, because can you imagine? I mean, A1 Cartoon, to me, I mean, they're probably one of the most original people I've seen do their work. Absolutely. Now imagine if everybody started doing Able shirts, and I was like, that was just like an Able shirt,
totally.
But it's gonna say Matt Andrews, or it's gonna say Brian's shirt. Like, guys, you guys didn't even try making your own. You know what I mean?
Oh, there's so many companies that I saw. You know what?
They did that though. A lot of people did that.
Do you remember even about 10 years ago?
You would see
prints. Like let's take your shirt. You would have a print, and what you would do is you would see half the image on one side, and they'd just flip it over, and they would do the other half on the other side.
Yeah.
And I'm talking about, I don't know, probably about 15 different companies that came out back then. The Affliction T-shirts.
Oh yeah.
Are a prime example.
No Fear.
Where you're going to take somebody who's going to do an image on one side,
and
flip it, and it's some tattoo artist that they would hire. They don't give a shit. It's all cut and paste flash art that they would just piece it together on there. But then you would see somebody like Cartoon who would start to use Photoshop and Illustrator, and he was really proficient in it too as well. I mean, a Cartoon could draw, so he would draw everything out and section it out. That's what made me stop and be like, okay, I like this guy because I know whatever he does is going to be original. He's not copying. It's not going to work on that.
Yep.
I think that's a crucial thing to have, and I think in this paint. Right now, a lot of times what I see even on Paint Huffer, people are so tired of just the same patterns and the same stuff, and I'm like, okay, well stop talking.
Is that not dictated by the customers that hire us to do that though?
Right.
It is, but
that's all I was gonna say.
Even when a customer comes to me, they say, "I want this paint job." To be honest, I tell them straight out, I go, "I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah.
I gotta do my own still, because I still have pride.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I want someone to say like, "Oh damn, that's a Bugs paint job," because it doesn't look like a Danny D. It doesn't look like, Candy and Chrome. It doesn't look like, Ants paint. You know what I mean?
Right.
Let's just say, for example,
Yeah, yeah.
It's your own style.
I agree.
I try.
But at the same time, man, like how many years of experience do you have? And we kind of touched on this again, I think, where you developed your own style through years, like over 20 years, got to be over 20 years of doing this shit, right? And so, like, you have an originalness to your work now, and you probably have for the last 15 years or something. But at some point, I wouldn't say, like, oh, in 1990, you were fucking copying somebody else, but you were finding inspiration and learning how to do the shit off those things.
I'll try to do my own thing, but you know what, though? At the same time, when you're original, that paint job's timeless.
Yeah, it
when
is.
you copy, 20 years from now, oh, yeah, that was back in the Candy and Chrome days.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or, it just like Harley's.
It's well said.
I mean, there was a bike that I had seen, and right away I could tell, man, this is an 80s bike right here. Look at the colors on this thing.
Totally.
You can tell the era.
It happens with Harleys too. Like I remember a couple of bikes. There's a couple of key bikes over the last 15 years that someone would do a paint job that's kind of off the beaten path, but it's dope. And then you would see a rendition of that from hundreds of people.
Yeah.
There was a dude in LA that did this yellow bike. I think Doug Magoon it was a wheel thing. It was like, I'm fucking up right now, but it was a yellow bike, had some leafing and stuff. And then I saw that paint job knocked off by industry people, not just like, some dude in his garage just learning how to paint that just completely copied somebody, which that sucks, but fuck, man. I can't go to everybody's garage and be like, no, you better not. You know what I mean?
That's true.
But it got knocked off by big people, and I was like, man, like that. Why didn't you say no? Like if that customer was like, hey, I love this bike, I want this. I'm like, well, you maybe should go buy that one.
Yeah.
Was it Trevelyan? Was that the artist I'm thinking of? The bike builder?
Yeah.
Trevelyan. I liked his style because it was not like the whole biker build.
Yeah, and that's the thing about it. You have to have your own style. I mean, Trevelyan had his own style, just like Paul Yaffe has his own style.
Yeah.
I mean, can you imagine if I built bikes and then someone's gonna say, that's like a Paul Yaffe bike. Wait a minute, you got 20 more just like his bike. I'm sure I'm gonna piss Paul
to
off.
be completely honest, like as the devil's advocate, like that takes like a lot of courage to just say no, I'm not going to accept work, especially like when you're trying to get work, and like getting work is kind of hard. I mean, depending on where you are in the world, like getting work and being a professional artist.
But I think you got to put your.
You remember that bike?
You got to put your foot down though.
I'm gonna find another picture of it, but that was it. That bike got knocked off and this is an LA built bike.
But you know what, man? When you say that though, I have people come to me and ask me, I want a paint job like this. I won't do it. Look, I'm gonna give you something just as nice, but if you want it that bad, take it to that guy.
No, I'm not saying like a direct copy, but I'm just saying like, because I get hit with this all the time. Like people send me a picture and say, I want something like this. Right. I want something. I like the flow. I like this graphic. I like this element in it. Like, can you do something? So I'm confined to those parameters.
Yeah. Well, that's fine.
But when they come to you, they go,
style.
hey, look, I like Scott Chemical Candy. I want you to copy this exact thing.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, go to Scott.
Yeah. If it's a direct copy,
the only reason they're coming to you is
then that's a total different.
And the only reason they're coming is because of the money. I see that all the fucking time. I get hit on that daily on Paint Huffer. People are like, hey, man, can you do this?
Well, with the lowrider scene, I mean, dude, one of the like coolest things in the world is when you started hearing like, to get an OGA mural, it's a 5-year wait or some shit like that. You know what I mean? Those kind of things would make, as a painter, yeah. So, but when you have like impulse buying, which is a part of our complete nature of how we are now, like we go on Amazon and we want it now instead of going to the store and looking for it. And so you think about the same concept with like all these people out there. It kind of goes back to what I keep telling everybody. So I can only do 30 to 40 projects a year, period. And I have way more.
That's a lot. If you could do that.
Yeah, if you can do that, yeah, right. And I'm fortunately
every week and a half, basically.
Yeah, not a car.
I was like, cars, damn, you're good.
Yeah, no, I cut cars out of my life because I just couldn't do it. You know what I mean?
That's a lot of work. It is a
lot of work, dude, and that's why like I really respect like guys like yourself and many others like you in the industry that have continued to push the car custom paint culture. You know what I mean? Because a lot of us lazy millennials don't. You look at a helmet that I would do, it's all intricate, and then I look at, all right, throw that on top of a car, and you got just if you were just doing a top side like a hood, roof, and trunk, you're like, fuck that, man.
Yeah.
Spread it out a little bit more.
It is. I mean, it really takes a lot out. It's like I tell people, when you get a paint job from me, you're taking part of my soul.
Yeah.
Every car that goes out there, because I try
part of your life, man.
Yeah, I try to do it very different from anything else. And I don't tend to be the best. I'm just lucky the people I've been around, influenced by, and very thankful for them believing in me that, hey, you could do a paint job for me. I try to do everyone different.
They know without a doubt that integrity of that paint job is going to be super solid.
Yeah.
So if I'm going to go get tattooed by somebody, if I'm going to mark my body for the rest of my life, I want the best. I don't want somebody who's half-assed. I don't want somebody who's just starting out. I want that name. I noticed that when I've been at shows with you, people will come up and they'll be like, people who don't even know art or have heard of your name. They're like, oh, I know Bugs. You're Bugs? Oh, I've heard about you. I've known you for years in the industry. That's you can't buy that. That's longevity. That's you working day in, day out and building up your name. So now you're there. Now you're established. What's next? You know what I mean? And is it when your customer comes to you and goes, hey, I want you to copy this. Say, come on now. You know my style.
Yeah.
I am.
Yeah.
I think that you should.
How does a customer relationship from start to finish work with you? Is it like they reach out, they tell you the project, how much of the project they need you to do, do you just provide artwork, or are you still a metal to fucking, finish?
No, when a customer comes to me like that, and I feel a customer out. What are you looking for? What colors are you looking for? What style are you looking for? That's all I need to know.
Yeah.
And after that, just what colors don't you like? So if it's gonna be a multicolor, I try not to get very busy with it because, like I say, I want my paint job to look classic and timeless.
Exactly.
And I do that. I mean, the last wall paint job I did was the 66, the purple one. And that one came out pretty good.
Yeah.
And
let me ask you this: did you ever study a color wheel? Because your color theory is on it. And what I mean by that, when you look at a color wheel, you know what colors work, like complementary, secondary, tertiary.
I actually thought about this as we talked about it with Tim Lowry. I think that maybe you can agree, maybe not. I think that a custom painter's color wheel is the vast amount of custom paint jobs in the world.
Absolutely.
And also, like, for me, like, I study graffiti art. I'm not graffiti art for like the technique of graffiti, because I can't do it, but they have a tendency to bring colors together that I never thought would work.
And that's exactly what I'm getting at, because on a color wheel, you'll see stuff that's supposed to be like orange goes with blue, red goes with green. If we do red and green together, we're thinking Christmas.
Yeah.
If we do orange and black, obviously Halloween. So there's certain colors you don't want to mix that are supposed to go together.
You gotta.
That's my question to you. Yeah, I didn't know if you ever really studied the technical end of it.
Actually, I haven't, to tell you the truth. I just, the only way I study my colors when I'm on the road.
Nice.
If I see something like, hey, those look good together. Yeah. And you know what? Another thing too it sounds funny. My wife is right here, but I tell you one thing: women.
Yep.
When they dress, you're like, I never thought those colors would go together.
Right. You know what? Here's something. That's a great point. Let me stop you on that real quick here, because as far as artwork, do you guys find, this is a question for everybody here in the podcast, do you find that it's important? Let's say you're going to use 3 colors in a layout. I think it's important to have the top, middle, and the bottom part of that flow. If you have too much color on the top of your paint job or to a certain section, it would give counter off. It's the same thing in tattoo. If I look at a tattoo or a sleeve, if I want to see those colors, I want to see that balanced.
Yes, I was gonna say it's the balance of it. You know, if you have a top-heavy color thing, for me, it's always been like what draws your eyes. You know what I mean? If you do a color combination that can, like, you're trying to appreciate this, but you keep going to the side of the fender, like, fuck, man, leave me alone. I'm trying to enjoy the the quarter panel for a minute. You know what I mean?
You know what it is? One thing when you do colors, it's got to be pleasing to the eye.
Yeah.
You know, because if you do the color the night before, like, I like that. You come in the next morning, like, oh man, I really like that. Mm-hmm. You did a good job. You come in the next morning, you look at the color, like, oh shit, did I fuck up? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's the inner voice.
Yeah.
You fight at the very beginning, but then it keeps reminding you, like, the next day or later that day, he'll say, that doesn't look good.
It's the same thing with music. When you hear a good song, instantly you're like, oh my gosh, that's amazing.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? So I think that's the
that
same thing with colors.
Goes with the word perfect. You know, and I've done that. I've, you know, sometimes I take a little bit longer on my paint jobs because of color theory. You know, I'm looking at color. I don't know if that's gonna work. Maybe it's not gonna work. But that's why I say, like.
You know what? I'm sorry to cut you off. I didn't mean to.
It's okay.
But there is like a spontaneous, you know, like choice of color. Like, you know, like that works. I'm just gonna do that, you know. And sometimes it's like instant,
right.
You know.
Yeah. And that's the difference between the people who are going to a color wheel and being more the scientist about and trying to do the old stale part of it.
The more advanced level of this color theory shit is when you start talking about flake, pearl, you know, solid, opaques, and metallics, and you start looking at how this blue. This pearl blue or this metallic blue sits on top of this flake blue, and how all that stuff plays with the eyes. And I think that, you know, one thing I love about like more classic and timeless lowrider paint jobs is that, you know, you're not doing the silver flake job and you're laying out your design kind of like the candy and chrome thing, where you just lay all your designs out one, and it's fades and shadows and you know, a little bit of shadow on this over this, and you get this layering. But then when you have, like, say, a whole flaked out blue, you know, ultra mini flake kind of thing, and then you come in with like a true blue pearl over this, and then you got a little bit of, you know, some kind of one of the house of color blue pearls in that. So you got this design and this design and this design. It's all blue, but it's all like from here looking to the other side of the shop. It's like, that's a nice blue paint job.
Yeah.
And then you walk up on it, and then it starts opening up all these different layers of who it is, you know.
Well, that's one thing I give him a lot of respect and a lot of credit is Candy and Chrome. He's badass. I like his stuff.
His style.
His
Absolutely.
style. And he came out with his own style, and you know what? I'm good for him, you know, because he's badass.
I want to know how he takes the green 3M tape and gets it to bend and curve so smoothly.
I know.
You know what?
That is true. Like, how the hell does he do that? He's good. He's good.
Yeah.
You know?
I'm sitting here with some FBS tapes and a goddamn torch just to make my shit stick right.
I know.
Do you ever find, and I know this is kind of a question for you, Jace, because you're so, you know, into the motorcycle things. Did you ever see a bike builder and you look at their bike and it's mind blowing, but it's the paint job that really won that bike?
That's 90% of most bikes.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, if the paint job is doing so much to you, man. Whether it's a car, a classic hot rod, a mini truck, a classic truck. I mean, colors draw your eye. You know what I mean? Yep. And more so, like, on a bike.
And I'm not taking away from the bike builder. The bike builder is amazing. I mean,
what makes a bike builder good, in my opinion, is not just like the actual fabrication work they might apply, but the idea of looking. You know, what I used to ask this to a lot of bike shops when they were asking me to build a bike. What finishes the motor? What finish? Is this more of a chrome bike? Is it a blacked out bike? Are we doing like a gloss flat kind of thing in the motor? Like, all these kind of things like can play into the paint job. And so when you have a builder that has a appreciation for finishes, and it might not, I'm not saying finishes like the chemically created finishes, and maybe it's like a brushed nickel kind of like, let's Scotch Brite this chrome and give it a dull finish, or let's gold plate this, let's chrome plate this, let's copper, you know, nickel plate, whatever, you know what I mean? Like, those kind of things is what I think set a lot of people apart when it comes to the visualization of what they're walking up on.
Because I've seen some really badass bikes with some horrible paint jobs.
Oh yeah,
And I was like,
badass
man,
cars. That
Yeah,
have horrible
it-
paint
it-
jobs.
it's so much
It could be
fucking
a bike,
better.
it could be a lowrider, it could be a truck.
Well, yeah, and then especially with cars, they spend so much money on like the suspension, the motor,
The inners.
and
Yeah,
then
how does that work?
at the end, there's no more money left.
Right.
And
Do you get that ever?
There's no
I mean,
time.
when you're doing like a full, like you're taking on this large project, guys building cars, and what's great, what I respect about the lowrider culture is when these guys are going to do a car, like it's a 10-year process sometimes, or 5-year process, and it's like this very. It's hard as like them hiring you. It's hard not to become part of their family in
Yes.
this process. You know
It's
what I mean?
intimate, yeah.
Like how.
Yeah.
I didn't really ask you a question, but I'm looking at you like, hey, just capitalize on that real quick.
Yeah.
Fill in the blank.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this: when did the lowrider shit kind of start becoming a part of what you wanted to do more? You know, because you said you were kind of fucking with some of the mini truck kind of thing, and
I messed with the main truck for a little bit because it was a cool thing to do. You know, I think at that time when the main trucks were in, lowriders were kind of like, it's still there, but what took over was the main trucks for a little while. You know, and I noticed that, but the lowriders were still always there. They were
Yeah.
just in the background. You know, like, okay, have your fun right now. You know what I mean? We're gonna come back, and they did come back.
yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean? But hey, a custom car is a custom car, whether it's a lowrider or a mini truck, you know, a Harley, you know what I mean? Full drive. I mean, custom is custom, you know?
How long have you been in Arizona? I mean, I know you guys may have touched on this a little bit
Yeah.
earlier.
I've been here my whole life.
You've been around
Yeah.
for there.
I've been around for a long time.
Were you always in the Mesa area there?
Yeah, always in Mesa.
Of
Yeah.
Phoenix?
Yeah.
Just so, you know, listeners know what
Always
we're
in the
talking
Mesa
about.
area, you know, and like I said, I mean, back then I was just this kid that just loved custom cars.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And even in high school, I would remember going to lunch and sitting right there in the salon, like, oh, check out this car coming up. Whose car is that? You know what
Because
I
I
mean?
remember I went to high school here for a semester. I moved out here to live with my grandparents, and I remember hearing ElBugs back then. And I think you lived in the Chandler area, maybe.
Yeah,
at that
I still
time
live in
or
Chandler.
whatever, still live in
Yeah,
Chandler.
I moved to
So
Chandler.
it's kind of from there. Were you ever so you built up your name? Were you ever hit up from any corporate companies saying, "Hey, look, we need you to come in and do this job or this job"? Because it seems like, or even the magazines. The magazines have to publish something every single month. They need artists more than the artists would need them. And I always thought that was kind of an ironic thing. Like,
Yeah.
oh, it'd be cool if we were in a
SEMA.
magazine.
Yeah.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
So this is what I bring up is this because I'm always curious about that because I didn't know if you ever worked in the film or any.
I've done that with Manny Cisneros and Danny D. You know, we did a show. What was it called? What's that?
Car Warriors.
Car Warriors. You know, and it was
I
cool.
did the same show. the
Yeah,
next season.
yeah. It was cool.
Fucking sitting here with TV stars over
You know,
here.
That was my curiosity.
You know,
They-
so I've done that. I've done projects for SEMA. You know, for Exalta, PPG, House of Color. You know, One Shot. Awada paint guns. You know, and it's cool. You know, but I mean, maybe other guys have been luckier than I have, but it's not. It's just an experience.
right.
But
Good point, yeah.
But that's all it is. It's an experience. Don't think it's gonna make you a movie star because it's not.
Well, let me ask you this because the way that, and I'll just touch on this real quick, the way that Paint Huffer kind of came to fruition was an industry that wasn't giving love to the artist.
Yeah.
And when I came in, it was like all of a sudden people were starting to, I was showing them love. I was like, hey, let me take your stuff, let me blow it up. You know what I mean? It's a gentleman's handshake. You're helping
Yeah.
me with my product. You're using my product, and I'm putting you on,
Yeah,
on blast.
and you know the one thing about SEMA that I think a lot of people have opened up their eyes, like realizing like a lot of the cars out there are custom candy apple paint jobs, pearls, flakes, the pinstriping, the murals. I mean, it's us like me and Matt, you know, yourself with the flake, and I mean we're always gonna be the guys behind the scene. You know that we're not gonna get as much credit as
The builders.
the builders, you know, and I see that, and it's like I'm doing a couple projects right now for a couple companies in there right now, but I don't see it getting any better for myself.
Do you
Stop
think?
doing
Did
that.
you ever think about starting a separate company or doing something related? Is that something that?
Yeah, you know, I mean, right now, I like painting a lot, but I kind of want to shy away from it for a little bit.
One thing we talked about the other day, and we talked about it in several different podcasts and stuff, is we're not getting any younger, and we're breathing fumes, we're huffing paint. I mean, literally, and that's something that's going to wear on our bodies and stuff like that. It's
And that's why I say, I mean, I've been saying it for a little while that I kind of want to stop doing full-blown paint jobs.
Yeah.
You know, it's like the money isn't really all there. It's more of a passion.
Yeah.
I mean, to tell you the truth, I mean, before I started doing this stuff right out of high school, I mean, I probably had like 4 or 5 chances to work for the city. If I would work for the city, I'd be retired right now with the pension.
Right.
Yeah.
But guess what? I love lowriders. I love custom cars.
Absolutely.
So I went to that direction, and you know what? I don't regret it.
No, you went the right direction.
You know what I mean? I love what I do.
Yeah.
But as far as painting forever, I don't want to be the next guy said, "Oh, did you hear about Bugs? You know, he's sick from all the fumes he's been breathing, and you know what I mean? It's not fair to myself or to my family. I mean, there's a lot more stuff I can still do.
Right.
I mean, I'm not gonna stop striping at all. I mean, if anything, I want to stop painting for a while, and I want to really perfect my lettering. I have different designs in my head that it's got to come out, but the way that these paint jobs arrive at my time, I can't redefine my art. Because I'm always stuck at the shop day and night. I'm lucky that Tiffany here ain't got a Sancho on the side.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, for all hours I put in the shop, you know?
Matt and I were
Is
talking.
that like some Mexican talk for like what is that?
Yeah. You know, it's the plumber's gonna come to your house.
Plumber. That's what a plumber is? A Sancho? Sancho? I keep hearing
sink is broken
Sancho and I'm
again.
like, what is that?
Dude, you have never worked at a lowrider shop before and heard that?
I've never worked at a lowrider shop.
Okay, Matt, well, we'll come
I'm so glad. I'm the whitest dude here, and I fucking heard that plenty of times in my life. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
But I
that's
asked
the
that.
thing, you know.
Bugs. I mean, yeah. I'm sorry.
So the milkman, the plumber, the cable guy.
Yeah, that's it.
They're all the same guy?
Yeah, they're all the same guy.
Yeah.
Matt and I were talking about that last night. We were talking about our work ethics and our longevity and stuff like that. Do you are you collaborating with anybody right now on any projects that?
Right now, my shop is just me and my wife Tiffany.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I have a couple of friends that help me here and there, but I don't see myself doing this forever.
Yeah.
I'm at the point to be honest with you to where everybody's a painter now.
Yeah.
Everybody's a painter, and what sucks about it, they're not taking care of the business.
Mm-hmm.
They think, oh, you know, I'm starting to go paint a car because it's funny because I heard someone talking and they said, well, why do you want to be a painter? Because I want to be famous. If you ain't want the shit, you ain't gonna be famous at all.
That's right.
You can be famous doing eyebrow makeup on your social media. You have a better
exactly.
chance of doing that.
You know, the thing about it is, you gotta ask yourself, why do you want to do this?
Right.
And there's a lot of guys out there really that they're doing it because, because I think I can do it. Well, where do you work at? Because I think I can do your job too.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And you probably could.
Yeah, I'm sure I can.
Yeah,
Without a doubt.
dude. It kind of touches on something that we've been trying to. Me and Matt were talking about this before we actually turned this podcast on. But this whole industry has got to start to pay a little bit more homage to the backs that's been broken through guys like you over 20, 30 years of doing this stuff and helping build brands. We all love John Kosmosky for starting House of Color, but why don't we love the lowrider painters of the 90s and early 2000s and now, or the bike painters, or all the people that made these brands as household names as they become over the last 40, 50 years, who come and go and pass and die and never have the same type of, I think most of us don't give too much of a shit about being famous, right? But we want to feel like we did good by our family, by becoming this and being, like, one of the funny things is, like, most of us are kind of known within our scene, right? But, in our families, we deal with things, but then, like, when I tell my wife, it's like, I'm fucking famous. I don't say bitch, but I'm like, bitch, like, bitch, I'm famous. You know what I mean? But you don't say that, but you're thinking that. But then in reality, we're known, but we're not doing better than the customers that pay us to do what we do.
Exactly.
And a lot of times we can't even afford our own selves.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's very well said. Yeah.
That's true. You know, the thing I tell these young artists that want to be an artist, it's like, I'll tell you what, I mean, because like I teach custom painting classes, but one thing I really preach on is like, if you're gonna be a painter, don't run. Yeah. Well, it's I tell them, I go, I'd rather be your friend than us enemies.
Yeah.
And I don't need you cutting my throat.
Yeah.
I've been doing this stuff for over 35 years.
And there were guys back in the day that you couldn't ask questions like you can now.
You couldn't ask some questions, but they had a respect for each other still. I remember that.
Apprenticeships.
You said something earlier, and I hate to kill this one thing you're saying, but not kill it, but just like interrupt it. But you were saying something about like people paying their dues. Like, what is your take on that?
Well, you know, what I say by paying your dues is pretty much just work hard, you know, and respect the guy that's there before you. Mm-hmm. And like you say, pay homage to him. I mean, when I started doing this stuff, I didn't do it because, I want to be better than Matt, or I want to be better than Danny or Manny or whatever, you know. You know what? I look at their work and say, if I'm going to be a painter, I better be as good as them, you know, so I can hang with them.
Do you think, and that's a great thing that you just touched on there, do you think that if you didn't spend all those nights developing your skill set, 3 a.m, banging your head against the wall, trying to figure out how to make things work, how to make the brush work the right way? You mentioned to me a long time ago that you met Danny on MySpace. I mean, we're talking a long time ago.
Oh, that was Manny. I met on MySpace.
Were you in his top 8 or what, dude?
Right,
probably.
Exactly. But do you think, and I'm a firm believer in this, I think people that are passionate will attract other passionate people. I think it doesn't matter about the money. Fuck the money. Money's going to come and go. Anybody can go make a dollar. I'm a firm believer in that. But if you have passion about something and you're really endearing about it, you care about something, that's going to attract somebody else. If you're on a caliber, a certain level of artistic ability, which you have to achieve through time and putting in your dues and paying respect to the people that were before you, when you get to that level, all of a sudden you have other people that you looked up to that have come to you and that follow into there. So I think that's a very organic way to produce yourself, to come out that way. Did you start to see that when you started honing your skills, where all of a sudden now you're getting people coming up to you and be like, oh my God, you're Bugs, and hey, I know you, I've heard of you, and I heard your name. Was that how you met a lot of your heroes, I guess I would say?
I don't know. I mean, really, when I walked up to them, I mean, I was humbled even to be around them, right. You know, and I gave them respect. And little by little, it's funny because you can always tell when someone's genuine when you first meet them. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I met people that just straight up assholes, like, I don't want to talk to this dude because this guy thinks he's God's gift to paint. And
that was weird. Like even in the 80s, it was very cutthroat, like very machismo that way. Where it's like don't talk to me.
You know what? It was, but I'll tell you what, I mean, if you give respect, you're going to get respect.
True.
And I'll tell you one thing right now, I mean, everybody that I know, I could call them up right now and say, hey, you know what? I'm having trouble with this color, or I'm not sure what I'm doing here. And you know what? I can call them without any hesitation, right, because I've given them that respect. Yes. But guess what? And it's happened. And they'll call me, hey, Bugs, you know what? I see something you did. How'd you do that? And I'll tell them. Mm-hmm. But say if it's a cocky little dude that's been talking crap all over town, yep, and I find out, he calls me up, dude, don't ask me. You know everything, down. So
right.
You know, I'm not gonna waste my time on you.
Do you find that there's a lot of painters that are now what I would call, like we called it in the tattoo industry, YouTube tattoo artists, YouTube painters? Do you find that a lot? Because I see that now more and more and more, where especially in the tattoo industry, where they're not having to take an apprenticeship. They're not having to ask questions. All of a sudden, they're just thinking that they know everything. They come in and they fall on their face 9 times out of 10.
I think what it is just this new generation that they don't even have self-respect for themselves. Right. And I see a lot of them, like, you know, they have talent, but they let that get to their head. Yes. And what's sad about it is that they don't know how to pay homage. That's right. You know, yeah. and it's sad, but I mean, I had an apprentice, and when he stopped working for me, that dude couldn't even tell me, hey, thank you for teaching me what you taught me.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of sad. I was like, dude, I didn't have to take you in, but I did.
And you and I talked about integrity a long time ago, and I think that's something that you're going to have to really. How can you get away from that? Because if you lose that integrity as your name is everything.
Yeah.
And if people look at you and they're like, "Oh man, weren't you the guy that was copying everybody a few years ago?" And now you're branching out. Now you're becoming your own artist. How do you can't erase that. You can't get away from that. You're always going to have that thing. That's what's going to separate somebody who's genuine and really cares.
And that's the thing about it. You have to be genuine, and you have to be honest with yourself and the person that taught you. I mean, like, I had Butcher teach me some things, and to this day, I respect the hell out of him. I love that dude because he's taught me a lot of stuff. You know what I mean? And so I respect him that much more. You know, but to me, if you don't pay homage to the person that showed you or respect, it shows what kind of character you are. Absolutely. And you ain't gonna last. I mean, I'm lucky. I'm going on 37 years I've been doing this, and as far as I know, I don't think I made anybody mad. I try not to, and if I did, I apologize. You know what I mean? But you know, it's like I'll give credit where credit is due. I'm not afraid to do that.
I always think of the philosophy, like if you lay your head down at night and you look back at it, I mean, I'm glad to have a slice of this pizza. I'm glad to even be on this map, to have a paint company. Are you kidding me? Yeah. And I don't take that for granted at all. It's not something that I'll ever think. I mean, if I pass away tomorrow, if I leave this earth or whatever, you know, gone, there's always going to be some kid who's going to grow up and be like, oh, I remember that name, Paint Huffer, or this was this guy or whatever. Well, I got that name from painting every day. You know, I'm constantly painting. They're like, what are you huffing paint? Like, what's wrong with you, man? You're in this shop every day. You don't just get that. It's not given to you. And everything, I think, like what Jace definitely touched on is a very Amazon millennial way of today where everybody wants something now. I'm gonna look on YouTube, I'm gonna see how he does it real quick, and boom. And I get that question every day on Paint Huffer. Hey man, how do I mix this? How do I do this? How do I do this? It's like, you know what? I think you should take a class from somebody who really knows.
Yeah.
And I think that's gonna help you.
How have you liked the like you've done a lot of classes? How do you feel about like that culture that's starting to stem from like a lot of us painters are looking at the class option as a way to, you know, unfortunately, like breaking the beans here, it's a way for us to make money, you know, but it's also, you know, you want to have the integrity that you have in your artwork, but you also want to make sure that like if someone's going to buy your class or buy your time to teach you that thing, that you're going to make sure that like if someone's going to buy your class.
Yeah.
You playing?
Sorry. Clicking on.
Yeah, so basically, you know, like you do the class thing. I mean, I'm interested in it. I've been, you know, around a lot of it, and I think it's a good place. But it also, you know, there's got to be some like worries that all these artists have maybe with it, or what do you think?
Yeah, you know what? I mean, I thought about that, you know, because I always say, you know, hopefully we're not gonna make a Frankenstein out of somebody, you know, it's gonna come back and haunt us. I mean, sometimes.
That's a good way.
I don't mind sharing, but you can always tell the devious ones, you know, that will come to your class.
Yeah.
I mean, after a while, you have to learn how to read people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And there's gonna be a few of them out there, but you know what though? Whether they give us credit or not, I'll remember that person. You were in my class.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You were taught by.
It's kind of this weird thing because, you know, me and Brian have been talking about putting a class together and stuff like that. And I've been to I've been the, you know, Art Circus, which is a great one, the airbrush action ones. I haven't really done a lot of the more grassroots ones like Pellin has been doing down in Houston and stuff like that. But, you know, me doing that, I want to provide I want anybody who takes that class to walk away and feel like they gained 100%. Like just like if it was a customer buying a paint job, I want to feel them like they paid money and they were like, fuck man, like this was worth it. You know what I mean?
And you know what? The reason we do the classes too, though, is because with or without you, they're gonna paint.
Yeah.
But this,
so you can kind of give them a little bit more of a like.
Yes, and this is gonna separate the men from the boys.
Yeah.
You know, because now you're in the right track.
Well, what's good about these things too is that just from doing it, I know that you guys do the technical, like you're going to teach them, you're going to go through the curriculum, but you're going to come back afterwards, after everybody's done, and you're going to talk.
Yeah.
You know, one thing that's very valuable that I've been painting for 15 years now, or I've been doing custom paint for 15 years, which is nothing compared to you and a lot of people that I look up to. But you have, like, when you get a chance to just sit there around a table and a beer or a campfire or whatever it is, and just pick the brain of a talented person that you want to learn from, that's more valuable than the time that you got to learn exactly from him. You know what I mean? In some weird way.
Yep, I hear you.
If I got to sit in the shop with you while you were laying out designs and doing striping and things like that, and then I just got to sit there and do this and like have a natural, organic conversation with you while you were working and ask, oh, so why'd you do it that way? Oh, well, I do it this like this.
Yeah.
That's how I learned in some aspect, you know? That is the most organic way of doing it.
And that's how I learned too. But at the same time, when I do it, I want to get to know the person also.
Yeah.
Because now you get to know his character.
Yeah.
And I've been around some people like, God, this guy is a total dick, man.
Yeah.
It's like, how do people deal with him? And then but I tell you what, good thing is that everybody that I've met as a painter or a striper or airbrush artist, I think they're all great. Good people. Like Matt, I'm sure, maybe I'm wrong, Matt, but if I called Matt and said, Matt, I want to learn this little trick on airbrushing, even if Matt said, well, I'm going to teach you, but I'm going to charge you. You know what? I still pay him.
Dude, same thing. So Ryan Townsend, I was at a block with my artwork where I was just like, I saw what he was doing and I felt like I could do it. I'm like, I can do that.
Yeah.
It wasn't the technique that was missing. It was the chemical mixtures that was wrong, right? But sitting with him, I was like, hey, dude, I'll pay you $500 right now if I can come sit in the shop with you for one night and just shadow you while you're doing what you're doing right now. Yeah. I told him that, and you know what he told me? He's like, dude, man, come on, man, I can't take that money from you. So, which he should have, because now I'm good at what he does too. Not as good as him, but I'm good at it. I'm making a living at it. But at the same time, like I try to always say, you know what, these portraits I do on helmets, these things I do, I owe as much to all the people that I learned before, but also that night sitting with Ryan Townsend in that shop, just learning, just watching him. And we drank beer. We got drunk as fuck too that night. So just drinking beer, talking, live, this, that, and the other. I actually got to grab his airbrush and did some of the paint job he was getting paid to do. But that kind of thing, like that changed my career. It elevated my career as somebody that's been doing it for 15 years, been on covers of magazines, been to SEMA, doing all that. I had to humble myself and go, dude, you're killing it.
Yeah. And
I need to advance myself because I hate my artwork right now compared to where this world's going, and I'm at a roadblock,
And we, it's funny, we all get those roadblocks.
Yeah.
Like I said, me and Danny D are good friends. We talk at least once a week. Mm-hmm. Me and Manny Cisneros are good friends. Me and Ron Hernandez are good friends. And sometimes when I'm in that rut, dude, what is wrong with me today? I can't do it.
Yeah.
What I mean? And it's cool, but that's when like we're not just, we do what we do. We're not cutting each other's throats, but we're also friends.
Yeah.
And that's what I like.
When you become friends with a lot of painters, like you actually take pride in knowing, like you want to make sure that they're eating good too.
Yes,
like
exactly.
You think of them as family more than you think of them as competition.
You're exactly right.
Yeah.
And I try to look out for that, and that's why when I give these classes, me and Danny and Armando, we always at the end we have a little sit down and we go to the pros and cons. If you're gonna be, and I ask them, why are you doing this? I want to know what's your reason. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And either they're gonna tell us, well, we won't be famous. Well, you're not gonna be famous to begin with.
Yeah.
And I tell them too. I go, if you're here to cut my throat, I'll give you money back right now. Get the hell out of the class. And I say jokingly, but at the same time, I really kind of mean it.
Yeah.
Like I said, I don't want no Frankensteins in here. Mm-hmm. I don't want them coming after me. And by the time I go, best thing for you guys to do.
At the same time, man, for them to come after you, like there's this good book that I've recently read through some Joe Rogan podcasts. Have you heard of the Outliers kind of book?
Yeah, I read it.
You read it, so so you can attest to this. The whole 10,000 hours concept of how many hours you've been putting into your craft and your skills and your techniques. Some people are going to pick up some things quicker, but realistically, they're never going to be able to catch up to you in that form fat. You know,
especially if they're coming to you when they're in their late 30s or 40s or whatever. I mean, you have 30 years plus on them. Like, there's no way they can catch you. They'll be 80 by the time they catch you. If you retire tomorrow, so like you can teach them, you can give them, a head start
and help them figure some of the problems out. They're going to come along, but the thing about pinstriping that I do know is that I spent more time doing airbrush and graphics, and that's why pinstriping is my least like skill. That's the one I'm not the best at, right? But then, you know, we were in there watching you do the door in there. I'm like, I would be fucking freaking out just doing that. You know what I mean? Just because I'm so, you know, I always use this analogy. I've been doing it too much lately, but the golf analogy with pinstriping. The first time you pick up a pinstripe brush, you might pull a straight line.
Yeah.
You might even be able to pull some hollow flames, you know, and then like, you're like, fuck man, I'm good at this. And then you're like, all right, so let me watch a video real quick. And then you get some advice, and then you change it and you change it. It's the golf analogy, right? You go play golf for the first time, and you're hitting straight. You're like, fuck yeah, I'm into this. I'm good at it.
Yeah.
And then you go buy some clubs, and then you start thinking about your swing, and then you can't play golf anymore.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah, and that's kind of what happens with a lot of, you know, those kind of things. And then you're chasing that talent, or that what it is you're chasing that time that only is going to come with time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's muscle memory too.
Yeah, it's muscle memory. I got okay at doing airbrush because I had a job doing airbrush 8 hours a day. You know, when kind of the chopper motorcycle thing was a lot bigger in the mid 2000s, and you had a lot of those jobs. But I also got good at graphics because that was the only thing I could do for 4 years. I didn't know how to airbrush or pinstripe, so I just laid out flames all the time and got used to pulling tape and that fluid motion you have with it. Yeah. And so even if someone walks in, you can tell them, you can teach them some things, but realistically, you know, it's very rare for someone to be able to exactly do it right there. They might be able to mimic you, which is what you're seeing.
Yeah, I said that a lot.
But like after that, then what? They got to wait for you to do your next paint job to give them their next paint job.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, that's a very good way of putting it. Maybe I didn't think about that one.
Oh, then they have to stew on it and practice and keep going, and then they'll, you know, be sitting late at night in their garage, like trying it. Sometimes they'll, you know, some of the people might succeed and keep going, but they probably will get frustrated, you know, and be like, you know, I'm done with this. You know, like they might hit a wall where they can't recover, where you have already gone through that wall plus, you know, 18 other walls.
Yeah.
So
and that's what I mean. I mean, it's better for them to be my friend.
Yeah.
Than not to be,
because you can coach them. You can kind of, you know, like you can kind of help them understand, like, you know, it sucks because it's another role in your life, right? Now you're a painter and you sold a class, but now you're a mentor for the next 10 years of this guy, which makes you part of his life and his family and this, that, and the other. And then next thing you know, you're like, he does a paint job and you're like, man, like that looks like Danny D stuff, man. Like,
yeah, you know,
you have to be that guy that keeps breaking the bad news to people sometimes, you know?
Yeah. And I see it a lot. It's funny, you know, but I guess with like I said, with the new generation, they're just too lazy to do their own homework.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, well, why they gotta do homework? There's Instagram, there's Facebook.
Dude, sometimes I get freaked out by the new generation. I'm like, they're so smart. They have all this information at their fingertips. Like they're almost like dangerous.
Yeah.
If they knew their power, they would be the most dangerous
There's
generation.
enough to know that they can shoot their foot off.
Yeah, but the thing is then they're so lazy.
Yes.
That they don't do anything. So you're home free. You don't have to worry about it. So
yeah.
I mean, they're not all like that. I mean, there's still, you know, quarterbacks coming out of high school that are millennials. There's still Navy SEALs that are millennials. There's still, you know, it's not the whole generation, but for the most part, you know, we're talking about, you know, statistically, they're pretty not, you know, they're not very driven.
Yeah, they're not, and I guess sometimes I like, well, you show me something now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Don't show me something someone's already done. Be original. You know, I see these guys, that I painted this tonight. Do you know how many times I've seen that trick?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's like I said, there's more than one way to skin a cat. Show me a different way that I haven't seen yet.
Yeah. Well, it's not the successes that make you good. It's the failures and how you recoup from those.
Right.
You get back on track. Like that's what makes you good. That's what, you know what, actually Craig Fraser told me that the first year that I...
Who is that?
Just one guy.
I heard of him.
But he said everybody makes mistakes. Like everybody.
Oh, yeah. I make mistakes all the time. You know what makes you good? How you fix your mistake.
Yeah, the
How you
recovery.
recover your mistake.
I'm glad you said that because that's one thing I've always said that like the difference between a good painter and a professional painter is how they handle their mistakes, you know, and you see it all the time. Like the funny thing is like when you became able to zoom in on Instagram, that changed the game for a lot of people. So you can zoom in on a helmet.
It's not that pretty.
Yeah, exactly that. But you can zoom in on the paint job, and you can see the blow-bys with the tape because they use. That's why I with the green tape that like Candy and Chrome uses. When you see them pulling these like this style where you do the curves, I'm like,
he's sickening.
I could never get the green 3M tape. 1/4 inch tape to do a nice curve that tight. We're talking that tight.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I'm like, and I know what happens when you do get it to do that.
Yep.
And so I wonder how much is he coming back with like a razor blade and just scraping off the excess blow by.
Yeah.
He might. I mean, I haven't studied his stuff that much because
I don't understand why he just doesn't use FBS or
I think
3M.
he is now.
The nylon or
Dude,
the
you could buy a
vinyl.
box of that green 1/4 inch tape and 1/8 inch tape for $30. A box of it, like you got 15 rolls or something like that. I buy it anyway because I use it for measuring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully nobody hears a
Gaps.
Truler's
Yeah.
guy, but when you do these kind of paint jobs, and I know you do in your style, that line, 1.5 inch, 2 inch, 1/4 inch, and then bam, another one. So then you're either going to do your pounce transfer or something over, or you can just I'm 2 1.5 and a 1/4 inch tape, and bam, I got my next line.
Yep.
And so what I think happens a lot is like as us more people in the panel style, and maybe you could say the lowrider style as well. You might look at a dude's paint job and go, all right, he used a 1/4 inch there, 1.5 inch there, and then he did an 1/8 inch on top of the side so he can get that little different thing. Or you're like, oh, this dude used, and I always think this is the cheesiest way is when they use, you can see him exactly. He used a 3/4 inch tape here, 1.5 inch there, and then 2 3/4 here. Like you can see the tape in between the tape. You know what I mean? I hate that.
Like when they only buy like 2 different sizes of tape.
Yeah. So I took a picture the other day and I was like, I had all these rolls of tape laid out, and I was like, all these rolls of tape are responsible for one paint job. Not saying that every roll was used to the max, but it takes this tape, this tape, this tape to create this thing.
I think I've done the same thing. Like post a picture of all my tapes, and I just have like 4 different colors of tape, like 4 different sizes, and just like scattered,
It's a smart way of doing it. I mean, I know somebody who's doing graphics right now, and I don't know if he's thinking, oh, I'm trying to eyeball it.
Yeah.
You know what? That's a mistake, man, because your eyes ain't working that good. Look how far off you are.
Especially if you're leaning over a hood doing this shit.
Oh my gosh.
How are you going to eyeball the side like where you can reach on a fucking 59 Impala? Like, let me see you reach over a fucking rear trunk of that shit. Or a roof. I love seeing roof paint jobs because I don't want to do them ever in my life.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to be in that place of trying, like, coming through a back window, coming to get do it, or a side, or maybe you're lucky and you get to do it on a rotisserie or something like that. But dude, I love seeing. I'm a huge fan of the culture of lowrider art and all the things that comes into those paint jobs because it's hard.
Well, that's the thing about it. I mean, you got to think about it. It's like, okay, you know what? I'm not going to a fight, so how am I going to handle this one? You got to be like smarter than the roof. Okay,
that's got to be the same thing with pinstriping, right? Like you have to think about how to pull each line to be able to pull the entire line or something like that, right?
It does. I mean, if you want to go out there and thinking that how would you say it? Be a Yahoo and say I'm gonna do this line. Why?
Yeah.
Why are you gonna do that? You didn't have to do that. I mean, maybe you can pull it off, maybe you can, but I'm not gonna waste my time.
Yeah, you can find smarter ways that work smarter, not harder, kind of.
And
thing.
I can make it look better than that.
What was the I think we kind of asked you that and we got on a fucking segue here, but what was like the transition for you into the lowrider style paint jobs and getting into that culture?
Well,
I think I asked you that. I can't remember.
I grew up into it.
Yeah, you grew up into it.
I grew up into it, and of course, I guess a lot of us would buy old Chevys because we're not gonna buy a brand new car at that time, especially in high school.
Yeah.
High school, but at the same time, these are so cool. These Impalas, 63, 62.
They had fucking, all that the 58 to what was it, 69 when they were every year was a different thing.
And every single car that I will see on some True Spokes or some Supremes is like, God, that's badass. I want that year. I want that year. I want that year because it all looks so badass,
Mm-hmm.
It had just a nice look to them, and they're cheap.
Yeah, they were.
They're real cheap. Nowadays it's like, damn. I mean, I remember when I used to go to high school, there was a little old lady, and she had a clean 62. This is back in, I'm gonna say maybe 89. And I would see her every single morning. And I'll see her in the summertime. I go, she has AC in that car. And I remember she passed away, and her son was in my car. And I asked, how much you want for that car? I'm talking, this car was so clean.
With AC.
AC.
Yeah.
Super clean. I looked at the inside, nothing wrong with it. 2,000. You imagine that?
It costs more to put AC in there.
And I mean, it was a bit too much for me, but kicked myself in the ass. At that time, I was in high school, working at a Mexican restaurant, watching
you
this.
You should have pulled out those fucking khakis and
that little Auto 25.
Yeah, I should have put the Auto 25 to some work.
I'll be right back.
Yeah. But I tell you what, I mean, it was fun in those days though, just growing up and seeing these lowriders,
Yeah.
I would walk home and be right to the sidewalk. Oh, here comes that car again. I'm like, God, that's so badass, man. One day I couldn't wait.
Mm-hmm.
But the more I seen, the more I wanted.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I'm glad I went that direction. It's like, I still, right now, I'm not excited as I used to be because everybody's doing the same crap, or else they have a nice lowrider with a nice system. It's like, guys, if the guy just would have put the money to that paint job, could have got a better mural, could have got better looking graphics, whatever, pinstriping.
A longer lasting paint job.
Yeah, longer lasting. I mean, he had Joe Blow down the street put in 20 colors. The car doesn't even flow, looks like crap. And then he had
all the clear sinks back.
And then it has no flow to it. It's like, what was he thinking? And then he's putting it.
What about the point system? They always want to get points.
Yeah, that was the biggest. So that was one. So my short-lived lowrider paint career world was working with Sam Torres at Torres Empire and being a part of the Super Show that he did. I know the Super Show is Vegas. I know that. But when he did the LA show and he brought that back to LA downtown. So the first year he did that, I was there. I was working for the guy and stuff like that. So, I did a lot of murals. I was super interested in doing that thing because at the time I really wanted to be an artist. And the lowrider culture was the only place that you got tasked to, you give me your ideas, just like a back piece on a tattoo, right? I want this, and it was my job to put together this mural on a hood or a trunk or whatever and make it work with the graphics. But it was fun, but it's not as easy as it looks. It's a very complicated thing, and something about Tim Lowery that we had him the other day. Having a very small experience in that side of the world, in that side of the paint world, I have a much respect for his style and how it's like gotten so clean, so nice in that culture. You know what I mean? And I don't know where I was going with that. I've been drinking too many beers. But anyway,
I'm getting drunk already.
But
it's just a weird crack though.
But no,
he's dying. Oh my
Thanks,
gosh.
Brian. Cut him off already.
That's it.
No, we're gonna drink after this.
Oh, man.
But
hey, thank you guys so much for checking in too. We got a bunch of people here on Instagram Live.
What was the 2000s like? We kind of talked about the 90s. What was the 2000s?
The 2000s was when it started to get serious with these paint jobs and these murals.
Yeah.
And I think that's when it started. Like, okay, everybody's done this. Now we're gonna hone in on it, and now we're gonna make it better and perfect. You know what I mean?
Well, then you could start using the computer. All the computer stuff too.
Well, you know what it was too, though. I mean, back in the 70s, I mean, you know, I respect a lot of the paint jobs back then.
Yeah.
Because I mean, if it wasn't for those paint jobs,
it wouldn't evolve to where we're at now.
Yeah, exactly. And I wouldn't have taken any interest. It's just like the Gypsy Rose. You know, I remember the first time I seen that, and that was the first one he built, the '63 Impala ones, those Chico and the Man. I remember seeing that car, and I go, "What the hell is that?" I go, "That's ugly." You know what I mean? And I'd make fun of it. But because of that car, and then seeing the '64 Gypsy Rose, I was like,
Gypsy Rose was that OG one that was like in, I want to say Valley Customs, the guy that worked there, he did a lot of that back in the day.
Well, you know who painted the '64 Gypsy Rose was Walt Prey. You know,
it's an LA car though, right?
Yeah, LA car.
Okay,
yeah, that was Jesse, the old man. I remember.
But didn't it just come out of hiding recently within the last 10 years or some shit?
It did because he had it put away.
Yeah, that's right.
And I remember when they brought it out, I think some clear company said, "Hey, we got new clear." We sprayed the whole car to liven everything back up again because it was cracking.
Yeah.
You know, I remember, and I seen it at the Super Show in LA.
How do you re-clear something that old? You know, that's cracking and revive it. That's
I think that's such a lot of stuff
makers
on it.
and
Carefully.
whatever.
Yeah. Well, you know, Walt Prey was the one that painted and striped it, and Walt Prey was the man. You know,
Walt and Don Heckman painted it.
You know,
Don.
G Puke, who just chimed in here on their live podcast.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what I mean. But even back then, I remember I had seen Jesse at the LA Super Show, and he pulled it in. I go, "Dang man, this car is so badass." I walked up to him.
So he brought it out recently?
No. This was
a long time ago. Before 90s or some shit or what?
Probably like in the late 90s. You know,
because when I was working with Sam Torres, the big deal about that show in 2011 was the last time they did a lowrider show in LA proper, I guess is the way to do it, was like 97 or some shit because people got shot. You know what I mean? Shit happens. You know what I mean?
Exactly. So but you know what's so cool about it? Like I said, when I seen Jesse, I go, "Hey," I want to meet you. You know, because you know to me he was a legend. You know what I mean? The Imperial's Car Club.
Yeah.
You know. And I walked up, I go, "I just want to tell you something. I want to shake your hand. Now, can I tell you something?" He goes, "What's that?" I said, "Because of you," I said, "I really started liking lowriders because of your car." I said, "But when I first seen the first car, the '63, was a Chico and the Man, I go, I hated that car. I used to, like, what the hell did you do?" He started laughing. I said, "But I appreciate what you did."
Yeah.
I said, "And you opened up my eyes to this culture and really started seeing lowriders different." You know, and that was cool. So I seen him here in Phoenix a couple of times, and he talked to me, and I was like, "Oh, you remember me?" You know, but and then he passed away, and it was too bad.
Shit sucks.
You know, and then now his son passed away too. You know, which is pretty sad. You know, and that was real sad.
Yeah.
You know, and I guess he died of cancer, and I go out to him and the family. You know.
Yeah, that's man. All that shit sucks, man. But yeah, those kind of like history things that are attached to all these different like subculture, like when you think of custom paint, man, you got your lowrider side, your fucking Von Dutch and goddamn that world of that, and then the motorcycle thing. There's like a lot of like subcultures within just custom paint, right?
And that's the thing about it. When I decided to be a custom painter, I wanted to know who was who in the custom world.
Yeah.
I wanted to know who Walt Prey was. I wanted to know who Bill Carter was. I wanted to know Pete Santini. I wanted to know all these guys, who they all were. And if you ask me about this painter, I mean, I know him, but I know who he is, and I know what he's done.
Yeah.
A lot of these guys, young guys, painters, you can ask them, who's this guy? I don't know, never heard of him. To me, I think that if you're going to get into this, you should know who these people
understand
are.
The
you
history.
should know
these
are the guys
You should teach a history class.
that paved the road for us.
That's any
Think
industry.
about that, though. You know, these are the
No, I'm
guys that paved the road
serious.
for us.
I'm serious because I mean I don't know half the people you're talking about, and I've been in the industry for 15 years.
Get out.
Yeah.
You know,
I know. I'm sorry.
yeah, get out.
I'm just being honest.
But
Don't feel bad. I just been nodding my head. Yeah.
but I tell you what, though, it's neat when you find out. And you know what? I love to hear their stories.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, I think now that me and Brian have been talking about this whole idea of doing a documentary, and he's brought it up to Danny D and stuff, and I'm sure Matt and you before, but we have so much history in this just culture of custom painting. Not even like lowrider, bike, whatever, just general. Like there's so much history that it's kind of time to like step out of the shadows and stop being like a part of the biker build off and be the biker build off.
Yeah.
Instead of being like a part of the 5 minutes of the Gas Monkey Garage show, be a whole show by itself. Because this is one of the things that it's really hard to just dabble in custom paint, you know.
Yeah.
It needs to be captured. And
And it does. And,
Well, plus it's so visual.
Yeah.
When I talked to Danny, it was probably about 4 years ago, and I just told him one night, I said, hey, I really want to make a documentary. I don't care what it is.
Oh, you got the
grab
11?
a camera.
You got the iPhone 11?
I got the.
He got it on
too much money over here.
He got it
But no,
while
I
you
talked
were
to Danny
in
and I
the
was like, hey,
bathroom.
look, I seriously want to capture this because there's never been a documentary.
let me tell you something, Brian. I thought about that 10 years ago.
Yes.
And the thing about it is, it would be a great show where you go to, look at the top painters. Even if it's a 20-minute documentary, you're going to have that. And this guy, and this guy, and this guy.
Mm-hmm.
The guys who contributed to the lowrider
Bill
world.
Carter.
Bill Carter passed away,
No, it would have been great to capture.
It would have been.
And Danny and I were talking about that too. Even 4 years ago, he was like, "Hey, I should take you over to." And we got OG Puke here who's talking about it over at Valley Custom because he was hanging out there all the time. It would have been nice for us to capture that as well. But we can't let that happen again. I think now is the time where we really need to make the documentary.
Yeah.
We're not.
It'd be cool. It'd be cool to do a series, right? Like you're making a point. Like there's past, present, and future, and it'd be a good thing to like capture some lineage or some history of all these different cultures and things like that, and like tap into like the last, I would say present, the last 15 to 20 years is more present ideally, and then talk about like how does this like we haven't even got to this part of the conversation, but where is all this going? You know what I mean? Like where's custom paint going? Are we going to continue to be? I feel like I'm a women's rights movement right now. Like we're not going to take this shit anymore. You know what I mean? Like we're gonna.
That's how I feel.
Yeah.
You know what?
And you know what? I got somebody in here. John just chimed in here. He said like Ron Covell did back remember those series that he did with all the different shops, and he would do those DVDs.
I remember that.
Remember that?
No, I don't.
So that was something that was very. John and I were talking the other day. John is from Metal Innovations, guys. That's the banner up there. So John just jumped in. Yeah, John, you know this. We were talking the other day about that as well. I think that's something definitely that we need to do and capture. It's something that we're going to work on.
Yeah, you have to because custom painting isn't going nowhere. And the thing about it is, if we don't take care of this, it's gonna go to shit.
Yeah, it is.
It really is because I'm gonna tell you right now why it's going to shit. Right now, there's so many cutthroats out there that are just, don't give a shit. They're cutting my throat. They're cutting his throat. If you don't take care of it, it ain't got value to be nothing.
Well, then plus all the YouTube guys, so it's like they don't even bother like trying to copy. They just
that's a great point. We talked about that earlier. How many YouTube painters are there? How many YouTube tattoo artists are there?
Well, are there? I didn't know there was. Like, this is news to me. Like, there's people on YouTube painting.
Well, it's just diluting.
They just learn from watching YouTube.
Yeah,
it's the same thing as like when you see that funny thing where it says I'm a YouTube certified mechanic.
I feel bad because I've been telling like people asking, I'm like, hey, dude, I'm sure there's a YouTube video.
Thanks a lot, man.
Thanks a lot, James.
I'm fucking the industry.
So basically, instead of like hiring some guy that's cutting our throats, they're just gonna do it themselves in the garage, basically. So it's like an accountant that is like, you know what? I'll just go to Harbor Freight and I'll grab
guess what?
a little spray gun and then I'll just shoot it.
Come to me because I'm gonna look on YouTube how to do it, and you're gonna get cheap. You know what I mean?
I'm a titty man.
Yeah.
But then they'll
you want him cheap.
Yeah. Let me see him first.
Yeah,
I get it.
End this here real quick. So my phone is about to die.
Charge the thing?
I'm gonna charge it right now.
Isn't it
I thought that was 11, dude. I thought that thing was supposed to last like 2 months.
Shit, it's out.
Yeah, I thought you had lithium battery in that thing.
Yeah.
I didn't pay the bill.
Is that on a Tesla phone?
It's done. It's done.
But you know what though? I'll tell you one thing.
We had
If people
250 viewers.
Nice.
Right there. So
Nice.
very well said.
Hey, plug that shit in. Let's do it
Yeah, I
again.
know.
Let's do it again. I'm gonna go charge
Put
it.
it in.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
But you know what though? Think about that. These guys are out there cheapening the market. We're like, dude, don't do that, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't get into this because I knew I was gonna get rich off of it. but I still gotta eat.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And like, I still like to eat Red Lobster, the keg.
Yeah,
you know.
Can I get the cheddar biscuits?
Yeah.
No, the I think that most of us.
There's a $1 menu.
Yeah, most of us in this industry are not really trying to get rich, but we've sacrificed, like you said, you could have did the city job or the government job and had a good job, but we sacrificed that security of like pension and health insurance and 401ks to do this art-based, like very empowering thing. Like, it feels great to do something badass for somebody and see how stoked they are, but we're not trying to be rich. Like, none of us are sitting here like, fuck, man, I'm trying to be a millionaire. Because honestly, if we were millionaires, we probably wouldn't.
Right?
But if you were, like, it's really hard to think about what you would want to do in life.
I don't want to be a millionaire. I just have to be comfortable.
Exactly.
Well, the way I think about it is, if I won the lottery, the next day I would still be doing what I do.
Yeah.
If I
Maybe
won the
not
lottery,
the
I'd
same
be a hell of a shot.
amount, the same jobs. Like, you'd definitely become more picky, but I would still be creating artwork. I'd still be airbrushing. Like, I wouldn't put it down and be like, okay, now I'm going to go on a yacht for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
Well, I like to go for at least a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
And then gather my thoughts and come back. Okay, here's what I'm doing.
After, have a couple of massage sessions and.
But no, that's a good thing. It's like that's the thing that I think that everybody that maybe we were talking about, and I'm not very cultured in this, but maybe we were talking about these newer guys, these YouTube guys, they are wanting to be millionaires. You know, they do want to do that. So they don't really have the same passion and love for the art and the lineage that's taking place. And I get how that could hurt somebody that's like literally came so close so many times. I mean, dude, we're painters, right? Like, we're not rich, man. I didn't even know what y'all drove up, but we don't get to come up. Yeah, I said Pinto. It's not like we're like fucking like living in walking up and just fucking like, it's not. Sometimes it feels like some of the fame or some of the attention we get is the kind of attention you would give somebody that had a lot of like figured out shit in life, like money wise or career wise, when realistically, like, we're just trying to figure out how to be badass artists. And when you do that, you don't really figure out how to be great guys at paying taxes. You don't become great guys at marketing and all these other aspects, because you're trying to think about how do I be better at striping and leafing and being a painter and doing it proficient, so I'm not redoing shit. You're thinking about that so much that you don't really focus on those things in life that like fuck you later on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you don't pay attention to them, you know what I mean?
I sometimes think of myself as not a real adult.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't think of the things that most adults think of. I think of painting and drawing and creating and color and you
go to the store to buy like markers.
But one thing about it though that I've always seen, I think if you treat the business right, and that's the thing about it, we're not businessmen. That's why we are where we're at. You know what I mean? But sometimes when you do this, you got to think a little bit of business. Mm-hmm. Because one thing I've noticed is that the more love you give in these cars, the more disrespected you get, because they don't care about you. And I've seen that. You know what I mean? I mean, how many times have you stayed up late just to make these cars, make the car show? I've never had somebody walk up to me, you know what, Bugs, thank you very much for doing this. I'm gonna take you and your family out to a good dinner. You know what? If they did that, that would mean a lot. But a lot of times, you know what they'll do? Oh, yeah, my car was there, but I didn't place because you forgot to buff out this part. Well, sorry, I'm only human. Instead of saying, hey, thank you, man, my car was at the show. Or you stayed up late.
You know what? This goes into another segue that I've been trying to preach a little bit, is about teaching your customers to appreciate you as an artist and not as another material possession that they're buying from you. Like it applies to all facets of what we do collectively as artists and painters. So we provide a visual like addition to a material thing that people buy, right? So we all call ourselves artists, and everybody you're an artist, you're so talented, you're an artist. Well, then buy art, bitch. Don't buy a fucking thing off a shelf, right?
Yeah.
Don't fucking, you know, treat me like a product. Treat me like you're hiring somebody to create
a laborer.
art. Yeah. A laborer, yeah. So
Basically.
what we've been trying to do with ourselves is we've been trying to get people to buy, as far as myself, I say we. I'm a one-man operation. My brother helps me out sometimes, but really it's me, right? I'm trying to teach, or I'm trying to like create people to buy stuff from me or that hire me to do work, that they're buying a piece of art that's on a helmet or a bike from me.
They're buying a piece of your soul. They're buying.
Yeah, totally. They're buying a soul, but I want them to buy it and realize that they're buying something that they're going to wait, and they're going to get it, and they're going to enjoy it, and it's going to mean something, and it's going to be valuable because it's also art created by us, as opposed to like, you know, if you throw a paint job on a car, a paint job on a bike, and then, you know, it's like, okay, now I have the point system, like, you know, with the shows. It's just like the you know, in that world, it's the addition. Like, I want the customer that's gonna, you know, build this car because they're, you know, they use all these things, right, that trigger, like, oh, it's a family build. You know, I'm doing it for my kids, my daughter, my dad who passed away that didn't get to see me figure out my life. You know, all these things, all these stories, right? And then, you know, they have the engraver come in, and the chromer, and the upholsterer, and the painter, and then they do this, and then they're also the fucking cunty guys at the car show pissed because they didn't win. Yeah. You know what I mean? And you're like, oh, I thought this was about your dad and your daughter and the art.
Yeah, exactly.
Or did you just want to be famous? You just want to be a famous car owner. You know what I mean? Like that's the thing. That's the thing that you know, when we're in this shit all the time, when we see it all the time, it's like, oh, like, hold up, I've seen you before. I've been doing this for 20 years or 15 years or whatever the case to be. I've seen you before. You're not really saying something new. You're just saying something that sounds good right now, and I want to be a part of it. You know, I'm getting fucking hustled right now.
Yeah, and, you know, and it's happened to me. It's happened to me.
It happened to me too, 100%.
Yeah, I think it happens to every artist, you know, that I talk to, that I become friends with, and we talk about old stories. It's like, that happened to you too? I thought it was just me.
Yeah.
No, he goes, there's always a customer that's just an asshole, that he just wants what he wants. He doesn't care about your feelings, doesn't care about your family. Mm-hmm. You know, and I've had people like that, and that hurts. It really does.
I'd be really interested to know, you know, and obviously Danny D's not here, but I've been a fan of Danny D for a long time. I remember meeting him at Sturgis. Why would Danny be?
I've been
meeting him at SEMA in 2011 at the fucking Hard Rock Bar.
Oh yeah, huh?
And you know, it's where all the painters met up one night, and I was like, you know, I'm like, you know, I was telling, because I was with Torres Empire at the time, I was like, that's fucking Danny D right there, dude. Like, and Sam was like, yeah, I introduced you. I'm like, yeah, dude, I want a picture with him. And I still got a picture. I'm like trying to be like kind of cholo a little bit, like, And I'm trying to be cool as shit, you know. But I was really starstruck, and he was the coolest dude, man. He was, you know, for me as a very young painter at the time, he was everything I wish that every painter would be that I met at my age.
I'll tell you what, I mean, me and Dan are very good friends, and I love that dude, man. He's like my brother from another mother, you know, and he is a good dude. He's a good guy. Abel is one of the best people you ever meet. So humble, you know what I mean. Everybody that I've met, I mean, from even Bill Carter, you know, and I heard crazy stories about that dude back in his heyday. It's like, Mario Gomez told me that. He goes, you wanted to be his friend back in his heyday. He was an asshole.
Dude, you know what I think about my, you know, if I could like play a video game of who I want to be for the next 10 years, I want to like get super kind of like known, and I want to like fall off, like off the rocker, like that dude fucking flipped out, and I'm, you know, like Gary Busey shit, you know?
Oh yeah.
And then I want to get it together and come back, and they were like, man, like you fucking went off the rocker for a while. But I'm like, I'm still successful, bitch. Fuck off.
There you go. But I tell you what, I mean, I've met a lot of great people, you know, that influence on me, and you know, when they tell me their stories, I'm like, realize, like, I thought I was the only person that went through that stuff. Yeah. But you know what? It's neat to be, like you said, just a 5 minutes say I was with that guy.
Yeah.
Especially Bill Carter. I mean, you know who he is, right? he was a big dog back in San Fernando area. He lived out there somewhere, but doing all them, dragsters and I mean.
I grew up seeing that.
Yeah.
Like the mongoose.
Yeah. I mean, and then it's funny because, and then I hear he used to letter for him. Guys from the East Coast will fly in and letter the cars for him.
Yeah.
And I was like, what? I didn't know that. And that's when the story gets really good. But you know what? So I say you got to know the history of who's who in the paint game, And I love to hear the stories because as a kid, I would just be, shocked and awe, like, you knew that guy? For reals? That'd be like saying, you knew Bruce Lee? You worked out with him? Wow, man. That is cool.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I fucking Indian burned him one night. Caught him slipping.
But I tell you what, I mean, those are cool ideas, for the painters that are left now because a lot of these guys are dying.
Yeah, that's.
I remember when I met.
Think about. Go ahead.
I'm trying to think of his name. Go ahead.
So I was gonna say, like, in retrospect, like when you think about the lineage of the custom paint industry, it's literally one lifetime right now.
Yeah.
It's like you think about like when it kind of started kicking off, and what would you say the 50s with the hot rod culture, with the pinstriping, and going from there and becoming into the custom paint thing. It's one lifetime right now, and all this culture and all this like thing, this whole $1 billion industry that's been created on it, yet it's all created on the backs of people who've died from lung cancer and died with no fucking health insurance or
I was gonna say not even that, like, I mean, dying of just stress and maybe like alcoholism or smoke too many cigarettes, or I mean, it's not just the paint, and paint fumes are probably a lot to do with it, but like it's a stressful life.
It is.
All night working on somebody's car, painting whatever, all hours of the night or the day or whatever. It's a stressful life.
It is. And so you think about like that, like that's one lifetime. So there's no way that we have it figured out, right? Think about some of the other parts of the industry, the parts of the world that created our government or the transportation system and all these things that we use on a daily basis, and how fine-tuned they are, but still are kind of fucked up a little bit, right? Mm-hmm. So our industry has a lot of growing to do. And what I want to do, what I want to incite and spark is the fact that like inspiring people to start thinking about the opportunities that they have and realize where it is. Is it an opportunity or is it being used? Because a lot of us get used so much. I like to use this analogy a lot, where when you go to fucking any paint company, you're like, hey man, can you throw me a gallon of clear, man? Like, I could use the help with the materials. Oh man, well, the custom paint world isn't enough of a marketing for us, because the collision world is where our money's at. Right. And then you literally open up the next page at the jobber store, for us in the Midwest, it's English Color, and then it's like PBG and this custom painter, and they're trying to promote their new blendability fucking thing. And like, why are you using a custom painter to tell people how great your paint blends for collision industry?
Or look at their calendar.
Yeah, their calendar. Or how come when you go to SEMA you don't see people doing live blending demonstrations?
Yeah, or bodywork.
Or color matching demonstrations. No, you stack a fucking booth full of custom paint. So my analogy or my thing is, you make us 100% of your marketing, and we're 10% of your income, but we're 0% of your actual cost of marketing.
Your promo.
And half of them, the thing about Paint Huffer and the way that like his brand is blown up, and why we are sitting here in Paint Huffer's facility, and why we respect Brian, is that sometimes a fucking painter just needs a fucking shout out. Thank you for painting this. Like, how many bike builders have you painted bikes for? You never got a fucking ounce of credit.
Yeah.
I don't even want to say.
You can't say it because you still work for them right now.
Yeah, there's still a phone call away.
Yeah.
Oh man.
And that's the thing about us, is that we're so underappreciated, but overappreciated at a time where it doesn't matter. Like, hey man, how are you doing? Like, I saw your life fell into shambles. What can I do to help? Where were you at when I was fucking falling apart? That's kind of a big thing about what it is in this industry.
Yeah.
Everybody, you know what I mean?
It's
Well,
true.
they want to give you help, or the paint companies or whatever. They want to promote you when you're up on top.
Because it's beneficial for them.
Yeah,
Exactly. And
They don't wanna-
and I see people that happen a lot. They want to use you, and it happens to me all the time. And I want to be this asshole. Say, you know what? Screw you guys. I don't need you. But because I'm not like that,
Yeah.
I'll do it anyways.
Well, it's like the credit card company. I mean, when you need the money, they won't ever give you the money. But when you have plenty of money, they want to.
Yeah, offer you a line of credit.
Yeah.
It's true. but it's like you're saying, we're talking about these painters to appreciate them now. The person I was thinking about was Larry Watson. Mm-hmm. I remember when I talked to Larry Watson. Cool dude. And then I remember I was at the Pomona Grand Nationals and I seen him across from me.
Yeah.
I said, there's Larry again, I'm gonna go talk to him. And I didn't because I started talking to somebody else. He ended up passing away.
Damn.
I was like, damn it, man. But
That's how fragile these times are now, though. you
Yeah,
know?
but you know what though? Now when I see a custom painter, I make sure I walk up and talk to him, just like Gene Winfield.
Yeah, well, the other thing about it is, this is kind of what I see myself doing, is you see people like Gene Winfield and all these people that created a big name for themselves in the culture of hot rodding and painting and all these other things, but they've had to wear all these other hats that, you're a custom painter. I'm technically a custom painter for the most part. You are. We're not also, we're not also sitting here with a fucking, cigar George Barris style fucking, fusing some fucking chop tops together and stuff, we're just custom painters. And it's like all these other people take on these other hats and they have these long careers, but they never could just quite make it just being a custom painter. It's almost like you look at Ed Roth and you look at, Von Dutch and how glorified they've been now. Did they feel the fruits of their labor during their lifetimes?
I don't think they did.
And that's kind of the weird thing. It's like in the world that we live in, where everybody's feeling the instantaneous response of their effort and their hard work, and not where we have to put in this hard work as a lifetime and they get respected for it as we've passed away. Like a lot of artists of all time has, you
Right.
you
I was
go
gonna
back.
say Van Gogh.
Yeah, Van Gogh, and who never sold a painting basically in his lifetime.
Yeah.
You gotta open up that Kit Kat, man. Everybody's freaking out.
Oh,
Crash Daddy says, "What's up?" He's saying, "You better eat that."
I'm going to.
Yeah. Put it down, brother.
Yeah.
But man, it's one of those things, and that's what I keep saying, man. I'm perfectly happy being the bad guy to the industry. I'm perfectly happy with that. I will be the dude that never makes a dime from House of Color, any place, because I'm gonna be sitting here saying you have to do something for us. Realistically, you're a corporate entity, and and I keep saying this, and I'm gonna fuck myself on this, but basically, I was sitting with Ryan Counts at a bar with people from a paint company that paid him to come out and teach us. And I learned a lot from Ryan. I really respect him and his skills and his talents. And the people that ran the company were sitting there with us, and they were asking him questions and kind of bouncing off me because I'm not a TV guy, so to those companies I'm nobody. You know what I mean? And then just listening to them ask questions, and then have that person and her other coworker, they were having a conversation like you would have a conversation if you worked at Walmart and you were complaining about somebody in your department. And I was like, you're not connected to this part of it, but you're a part of it. You're the biggest part of it. You're the paint. You're the provider of the chemical that we turn into art. Mm-hmm. But yet you live a lifestyle where you go to work and you clock out and you never give two shits about the real thing that's taking place here. But yet I'm sitting here, Ryan's sitting here with fucking, black fingernails and, fucking paint stained in your arms and all these things. And this person with Oh, 401k.
I buffed today.
Yeah, he buffed today. You're saying, you know what? Hey, tell me you don't wet sand and then you go home and just rub your wife because you're like, yeah, baby.
Oh yeah, dude, they're like silk. They're like silk. That's what I tell them. Like these fingertips have been wet sanded all day, man.
Hey, get a little graphic, but that's when you give her a little, hey, let me.
Can't want to send my hands in.
But the thing is, like, when you realize that these companies are made up of people who are not like me and you, that's kind of the thing that kind of like mind fucks you, because you look at it through their marketing or their ads or their promos that seem like, hey, we're gonna pay homage to these badass people, and then you realize that the majority of the company is made up of people that can't wait to get off. Like, they're also on probably their own personal Facebooks going like listening to like self-help books, like, I'm trying to start my own company, fuck the man, they're not in the same. They're not in the same boat.
I see it all the time.
I see it all the time. I had a situation one time where a major company, I won't say any names, was giving people shit. They were like, hey, Paint Huffer's kind of taking, coming up. Don't use their stuff, use our stuff. But then they were using our stuff and they were saying, hey, this is great. This artist just used our flake. And I'm like, that's my flake. You guys fucked up. And I would contact them when I would call them. I'm like, hey, what the fuck is this, dude? You guys just totally are using my product without even knowing it. And she goes, I'm sorry. We have a couple college kids that are sitting in a cubicle that are doing this. And that's that disconnect. Yeah. You have people that don't even are part of this industry who are completely disconnected.
The biggest thing is that, I don't know how much you think about marketing, and it's probably not a thing that you think about when you're an artist. Like, your main goal is to create art, not think about how to sell your art. And that's going into the whole starving artist romantic fantasy of being an artist, right? But when you think of companies, like the one thing that's changing about the world is that marketing is becoming so personal that there's no way that you can market to people that you're not in that same field. So if I was marketing for a brand that you use, like House of Color or anything like that, then you would feel a lot more like, oh shit, like this really is speaking to me. I feel it because I have a background in it. I understand it, as opposed to somebody that's coming in like thinking, okay, well, we need demographics between 18 and 25. We have the 35 to 65, but they're going to die soon. So we need to start focusing on this side and build it up so that we'll have a demographic for another 40 years of our company. Like, do you ever think about that? Probably not. I don't fucking think. I just made it up, kind of thinking like that's what I would say. But
it makes sense. It makes sense. I guess the way to look at it, you're only good at that time.
Yeah.
Because once it's over, the show's over.
Yeah.
Don't need you no more.
I don't even really think of it like I all I try to do is I try to find, or I seek out artwork that inspires me, and then I try to draw inspiration from that, and then try to figure it out in my head, and then try to mold it into my own form. But I mean,
like, you're focusing on yourself, not saying in a selfish way or a bad way, but you're focusing on your craft and your skills, and that's a job in itself. That's a career in itself. Like, to just evolve and keep being creative and being innovative and do that, like that should be all you have to do.
Right.
That's it.
Well, yeah. Well, basically, I'm not trying to point my efforts at one demographic, like just for marketing's sake. I'm just trying to, the only audience that I'm trying to entertain is myself.
True. That's a good one. Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's good. Sometimes it's what makes you happy.
Yeah. I mean, you know what sells, what, if you go to a hot rod show, they like this kind of stuff. If you go to a bike show, they like this kind of stuff, from doing it. But what really, like, when you're sitting late at night and nobody else is around and you want to create something for yourself, there's only one person that you can really answer to.
Yeah, exactly, yourself. And do you think about that self with you as far as the art side? I mean, you're a talented artist in so many facets. When you think to yourself, like, if just wanted to maybe do art, maybe do canvases, or maybe do your rendition of art on panels and the skateboards and all the crazy shit you do, could that be a career for you? I mean, do you think about that sometimes?
I mean, I don't know if it could be a career, but it's satisfying.
Yeah.
Self-satisfying to myself. Because no one's telling me what to do. I'm just creating.
Well, see, at the same time, I look at it like, of us, if, going forward in life and really starting to pay homage to painters, a bug skateboard will be worth a lot of money to somebody that really loves the culture.
If I die, but it's like, I don't want to die and then have it like, oh, now it's worth money.
Yeah.
Well, I could have bought an Escalade right now.
Right.
You know?
We talked about that the other night with Tim as well, as far as branching out into other states. Have you ever done any fine art or any gallery art? I didn't know.
No, but you know what though? To be honest with you, that's why I kind of want to stop painting cars, because I want to concentrate in making my craft better towards the fine art.
Nice.
Like I said, I mean, I have all these ideas in my head that still didn't come out yet.
This is what I've done now, but I think I'm kind of getting at the point. I mean, the canvases that you've been working on for the last X amount of years are massive. You literally billboards in the sky, canvases, right? So by thinking about the skateboards, the panels, and the other ways you can put your artwork, you can put a lot more effort, a lot more design, a lot more creativity into that smaller canvas with a fraction of the time that you spend on that car.
Yep.
And you can really surprise yourself as an artist with how layered and detailed you can take your artwork. And I think you'll find more satisfaction in that. And then that's something that you can like paint and do 2 a week and sell. And someone can say, fuck, man, I've been following this guy for years, whether they're lowrider fans or paint fans or whatever the case may be, and say, like, I got a piece from this guy. You know?
And I have thought about that. I would like to do something like that.
Yeah.
But like I said, I'm probably gonna do something like that once I'm out of my shop. Mm-hmm. Like I want to close the shop down end of the year, and I want to how would you say it, revamp myself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And come out with something new. And
re-inspire yourself too.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly. I feel like I need to recharge my batteries. I've been there, done that, and don't get me wrong. I mean, I'm not bragging about myself or thinking, oh, I'm this prima donna. I'm not doing that. I just
you're Madonna right now.
Well, I'm seeing something different in my head.
Yeah.
What it is, I don't know. I can't see the clear picture yet.
Yeah.
I can kind of see it.
But a lot of people, man, a lot of people that are just starting or been doing it for my years and Matt's years and even less, like we love to hear that. we love to hear that in a bad way. Like, oh yeah, he hasn't got it figured out, so we're okay. You know what I mean? But at the same time, it's like, it's good to know, because now I have a vested interest and I care now to know that you're working on yourself and your art and finding a way to continue to be happy and feel, like you're providing something that you're proud of into this world.
And it's just like you said, I mean, I want to do pieces to where they can put it in their garage or put it in their house. I like to do something for some man caves, but my way. I don't want to say nothing yet, because I don't want someone, there's another candy chrome idea I'm going to do.
No, but this is the thing though, man. The one thing I will say to this, and I say this to a lot of painters because they don't think themselves like that, you're a brand and you're a name, and that is always going to be higher than just, if people follow you, and there's a lot of money in lowriders. I mean, there's people that have money. There's illegitimate money too. I like those customers too.
Yeah, exactly.
There's money in lowriders, and these guys,
cash.
$5 bills.
Yeah.
So
I get you.
Yeah, there's money in it, and if they really do love and I've been wanting to touch on this, but like, if they really do love this culture of lowriders, then they'll understand like the lifelong efforts that guys like you and Danny D have put into this and creating this culture, and hopefully they'll buy art at an art-based price, not some fucking like, hey, I'm trying to buy a skateboard for $200. No, like, I want a skateboard. How much? Oh man, it's about 15 to $2,000, man. Like, fuck, man, can you sign it and put my name to whatever? And I'm like, yeah, I'll do that. And then trust me, people will pay that for your work. They will.
Hey,
you just got to have the balls to ask.
I've been hearing that. You know what I mean?
No, you don't even ask. You just say, look, man, like, I'm sorry, man, this is what I do. It costs.
You know what this guy's right here?
Yeah, McAgee.
Yeah, this guy's badass right here.
The keg.
Yeah. He's badass. We talked in Sturgis. You know, and he's such a humble person, man. Cool dude. You know, and he's kind of like the same track I'm thinking. He's already telling me about it. I say I've been thinking that way.
Yeah.
You know, like I said, I love what I do, and I don't want to walk away from it and say, you know what, screw everybody, I'm done.
But you can still provide that. You can still provide the artwork.
Yeah.
You just might not. You'll cut out the part that's really draining you, stressing you out, and you can focus on the parts that make you happy and maximize your profits on that.
Yep. And you never know. I mean, if I take a break and I get that urge, you know, I want to do a car, and I'll do a car.
Yeah, and the guy that gets you to do one after you stop is going to pay a premium, and it makes sense.
Or he's going to get something that's just completely mind-blowing because it's your break. You've reset yourself. You come back into this a lot
that's
stronger.
exactly right.
Yeah.
So what I've been saying to people is like, we all consider ourselves artists to ourselves, but consider yourself an artist to the people that you're selling your shit to, and price your shit that way, and be ready to fucking eat ramen noodles one more time in your life because you're sticking to your price and your standards for your artwork, and make people pay it, and they will if they want it. You know what I mean? I don't think that it's scary to do, because I know that we've all bended and budged to make that rent payment or whatever. But I think that if everybody made a stand for themselves and started making people respect them as what we think of ourselves as artists, you know what I mean? Then you'll be fine.
And you know, when I do stuff like this, I don't just do it for myself. I'm doing it for the next guy that's trying to come up. I'm doing it for the guy who's gonna be true to the art, true to himself. Not somebody who's like, well, I just want to paint cars and be famous. Famous doesn't pay bills.
Yeah.
You know, being true to yourself and putting out the best work you can put out.
Yeah.
is gonna make you a better painter with a better attitude.
Yeah, the smoke and mirrors about being famous is and one of the things that like broke my heart in this paint industry is guys that I looked up to over the years. I'm not going to put their names out there, but just people that I read about in Airbrush Action magazine. I finally met for the first time at a Getaway or SEMA or something, and you start sitting down and you go to the little bar afterwards and you start having a beer, and you just hear these problems that you hoped that they figured out at their level of skill, and they're worse, or they're times 10, and you're like, dude, like, you're in magazines and you're famous. Like, you're famous because I just fucking like felt weird meeting you, and I'm trying to think of the right way to say something to you, and you know, your life's worse than mine right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's Danny D. Just kidding.
Danny D just got on here. I'm just kidding. I'm just
hey, Danny.
with you, right?
Throwing him under the
We got G on here, Valley Customs.
What up, G?
Dude, G is here.
Valley Customs.
DJ's on. We got a lot of people coming in from there.
That's good.
You know who I have a lot of respect for, and who I look at is Scene, the graffiti artist. When I look at him and I see him on Instagram now, and he's doing a bunch of
How do you
fine
spell
art
that?
arts
'Cause
out
I'm trying to
there.
think.
SEEN.
Okay.
And
I don't know that guy.
He was from New York. I mean, old famous OG graffiti artist. But I love the fact that he's still doing it and still going and doing the fine art and continuing off in that way. You know, we talked about that a little bit. Bugs, do you ever think about doing a show or a showcase? I mean, I know there's a lot of shows out there, but I think something.
Yeah, I thought about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? As a matter of fact, I've been thinking about that, and I want to do that with a few artists.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And just show the people, hey, you know what? This is what I'm all about.
Yeah.
Because we all
real deal.
I know a gallery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what about this?
and we all go to shows and we all go to events that we're like, man, it could be so much better, or it could be this or that. And you've had the longevity, obviously. I'm like, you've got to have that master plan in your head.
You know what? You know, I've been very disconnected from the lowrider culture, the super shows, the Arizona shows, and Los Magnificos, all these things that go on in Texas. Do they offer like an area to present artwork in that kind of way?
Yeah, Weiner did that. Remember, I invited you to it. You couldn't make it though. Oh no, you were there. What's in this water?
Half the time.
Exactly.
You were there, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I think that's a good thing that we did that. When we did that little show,
it was
a
good.
huge thing.
Yeah, the Phoenix show.
Yeah. I mean,
the
it was
convention.
good, but I think if Wine invites me again, I would like to bring out the best pieces you got. Even if we just sit there.
It needs to be more like a gallery.
Right.
You know,
Yeah,
instead of just like a table where a guy's just like with his cards and stuff. I think like if people could actually like walk around and say like, oh,
Yeah, so
and
a
we should
dedicated
have that
space.
more in the
Yeah.
center of that show.
well, it's dedicated, but it's like
Towards the back.
it's like I mean, no, like
But no, presenting the art the same way you're presenting these lowriders with their fucking, you know, like their Chucky and fucking Bride of Chucky going over here.
I think if we
Yeah.
had more walls.
More walls, yeah. I mean, I thought about that because I want that respect from people. I don't want them thinking, oh, well, you know what, man? I give you $200 and an 8-ball. Like,
Right. Exactly.
Oh no,
What is that?
you know what the heck? Exactly.
And then the same dude's like, oh, I had to stop using him. He's a fucking junkie.
Yeah.
10 years later.
It's funny because I remember doing work like that for people and they'll give me some money and then, oh, here's a tip. I'm like, I don't do that crap.
The first time I started flying to Cali, they kept saying, hey, man, you want some weed? I'm like,
Yeah.
no, that's a gateway drug, dude.
Yeah, it's like, I'm sorry, but I don't do that stuff.
Yeah,
man.
for sure, man. No, that thing. I think that the lowrider shows are the best platform to pay homage to the artist that's been putting these colors and these things on these cars and making them what the visual fucking beauty they've been over the last 40 fucking years, right?
Yeah.
So you know, I'll fucking reach out to Sam and tell him about the super shows. Like, look, dude, we haven't talked in a couple of years, but here's the deal: you have to change things. You know what I mean?
Well, and you know what? I think by doing that, I mean, you have the airbrush, the painters, the stripers. I mean,
They keep asking you to come there and paint. That's the dumb shit, right? Hey, come out here and let's do a panel jam.
Yeah.
And I know everybody enjoys doing that, so I'm not taking away from that. But no, like bring your art, like make a piece that you put like. I think you did this too, where Iwata had the guns and they were all engraved in the panels. Dude, at a lowrider show with a price tag or a contact you and some dude walking around trying to fucking flex with his, you know, chick and like, hey, she likes that piece, and then she comes to you and he's like, yeah, it's like $3,200, he's like, that'll fit in my foyer, bro.
Yeah.
And then he picks it up and then bam, you just made money on real art.
yeah, but the only bad thing will say, hey, I was just kidding, bro. Give me the money back.
Yeah.
That would suck.
That's so true.
Yeah.
I don't know if I work at a lowrider show. I mean, I'm trying to think.
Well, I think
where did I work at?
if we started off where everybody just brings one, then the next year, maybe some of those people still bring that same one plus another one, and then plus another one. I think it could grow up. Grow into like a big.
Well, like I say, I mean,
bigger thing.
I
Do like a lithography type deal where you're doing like a one night event?
No, like what I mean, like like.
Well, you have to
just-
pander to the audience. So if you said like we're doing a lowrider art gallery at this art spot in the arty spot of town, like a lot of people are going to come out because of the lowrider show, the cars, the chicks walking around with their asses hanging out. That's why they're coming, right? But then that's going to be the best place that you're going to be able to sell. I'm saying it's not knowing, but it's going to be a good place to expose the artwork.
I think to expose it, but I don't know about selling it.
Yeah.
That's why I say, I mean, there's too many cutthroats out there. They're like, well, why should I pay you that when I can get homie over here to do it for a 6-pack and $100? You know what I mean?
And you're like, well, that shit's gay as AIDS, dude.
But here's the thing is, maybe it's not the same customer. Maybe it's instead of having it be like the lowrider, the guy that owns the lowrider, maybe it's the businessman that wants to look cool, but he wants to have the lowrider type.
I mean, I think it would work, but it just depends on.
What if like Google headquarters, which I've never been to, but I know that they've paid like ridiculous amounts of money for art. You're walking down a hall and they all of a sudden have a fucking like a 58 Fender that's like done up and paneled out and it's on a wall and you're just like, what the fuck? This doesn't, that's art. Like if you can find a way, it's like when they started taking like C10 tailgates and leaving them rusty and hanging them on walls. How sick would it be? I mean, you'd have to like, those fenders are very bowed out, so you'd have to kind of like cut and chop.
It's funny you're saying that. I thought about that a long time ago.
Yeah, well, I'm just
having
thinking.
a 63 Fender and cutting the bumper and putting on a Dayton wheel with a motor where it's barely turning. It's like,
Yeah.
think of that.
Well, you don't even have to get the actual fender. You can just have
paint.
a piece of fiberglass that kind of mimics those shapes.
Oh yeah, it's like you pulled a mold off of that after you, like if you cut and welded it and made it like a piece of wall art, and then kind of like when Coast Airbrush was doing the tank halves, like the stretched gas tanks.
I wish they would bring those things back because they're hard to find.
You and I were talking about that. There's no,
Yeah, there's one company,
Right.
but they're like $90.
Yeah, fuck that. I'm trying to, you know.
ridiculous, right?
But no, man, there's a place for it. I think if you do it, man. If you decide to stick out, use your social media though, use it and allow people to see the art. If you start putting the art out there and you just, you know, maybe you start a little bit of like, for me with getting my helmets to my price range, I had to start at a place where I made money, but I wasn't making money I can live on. And you creep it up as the demand gets higher and the people keep asking for it.
Sometimes I thought about doing a show like that, but actually I thought about doing something like that in Japan.
Yeah, dude, you'll fucking
Japan,
get rich. You'll be a millionaire.
You know what I mean? And then while I'm there, I'll take some karate lessons.
That's right. We talked about that the other night with Tim as well, and how the Japanese are so influential right now.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's amazing. All the
Yeah, I
homage
mean,
and
you know what?
everything that
I
they're
mean,
painting.
I was talking to this old striper friend of mine, and I mean, even like in Thailand, I can't believe.
Oh,
But
yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, it's
dude.
not a rich country though.
No, the lowrider culture is spread.
Yeah, but it's spreading.
Thailand has some money.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah, there's some money in
Matt and I
Thailand.
were talking about. You and I were talking about that last night with Brunei and
Yeah.
And that's
places out
some of these countries like Thailand and Japan, like you started seeing some of these fucking phenomenal artists coming
Oh
out
my
of
gosh, the
nowhere.
Japanese are something else.
Yeah, like center
Well, even
roots
like
and
Indonesia too. Like there's some
Yeah.
artists in Indonesia and like Sumatra that
Well, you never know. I mean, you know, even Dubai.
yeah, well,
Dubai.
they got too much money. They ain't trying to do art.
Yeah.
I was petty.
was somebody
get out of
too
here.
worried about
somebody that
keeping
just
their
asked us here
Bentleys.
live.
They're too
clean.
busy fucking firing machine guns into the sand, bro.
Somebody just asked
That's
us
an
here a
idea.
little bit ago if we were going to open a paint huffer in Dubai.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Throw me a check. Let's do it.
Money
The
talks.
kiosk.
Yeah,
The
exactly.
kiosk.
Going at the
Well, that's a good idea. You
mall.
know, I mean, there's lots of ideas. You know, but
I think as far as like circling back though with the show, I think that would be something awesome to do. I think that's something that
Are you talking about like a
Look at that.
live show, or are you talking about like a
I'm talking.
Netflix show?
Well, that too. You know what? It's funny because we get a lot hit with that. I mean, back in the day, you had like Hugh King that was doing the biker build-offs and stuff like that. I saw on Instagram, I don't know, probably about 4 years ago, there was somebody who was trying to do like a paint off where he would take one artist and compare it to the other artist, and you know, you would have something like that. But I don't think that's.
I don't think that's.
I think that's kind of whack.
I don't think so.
It is because, I mean, you know, it's like everybody's got
Art
their
is
own
art,
style.
dude.
Yeah.
You look at like Peter Max, right? You know who that is? Like he made all the yellow submarine and that kind of late '60s kind of like art. That it's kind of stick figure-y, kind of long,
Very
like
loose.
groovy kind of leg coming out kind of thing. And I mean, there's not like a lot of skill to that. Like as far as like compared to like, it's like saying Drew Blair versus
Right.
somebody else. But to look at the art and appreciate his art, like it's hard to put art against art because
It is.
you can literally see somebody that found a way to take their kid's crayon, art and put it in the right setting, and it's like that's kind of cool somehow, But then you put that against Drew Blair or Corey St. Clair or yourself or all these other different types of art, and you're like, you can't say this is better than that. Are not the same thing. And then then what are you gonna? You're talking about artist interpretation. You're talking about so many different things that are not really capable of being judged, and you're just going to judge people on this, like the flaws, and that shit, right?
Yeah. No, I think art is the interpretation of the world around you, and it's personalized. You can't be this guy and then you compare it to this other guy because they have two different experiences. There's no possible way. I mean, skill wise, yeah, you could say this guy's just more skillful, but as far as the art itself, you can't compare like which one's
Well,
better.
it's like when, like, if you're the viewer, like, what is it? The art, beauty's in the eye of the beholder. Like, the way you see art is different for people. Like, that's the same reason why some people can look at a lowrider paint job or a tribal affliction paint job and have no connect to either one, like one or the other. Like they can be like, fuck, this speaks to me in my soul, but then they see something like, you know, this that might be more technically harder to pull off with layers and bevels and all the things that's involved, and be like, that looks easy. Or when you see somebody that like me as like my very limited time doing like any kind of graphics or logos and things, knowing how complicated it is to pull off that simplistic sticker look, you know, and then compare that to like this and laying lace down there, which, you know, newsflash, lace isn't hard. You know what I mean? But everybody's like, how'd you do all those little dots? You know what I mean? It's like time, man, time and experience.
Fabric store, and then
how come yours looks like everybody else's? Oh, there's only 3 patterns available in America right now.
Yeah, that's cool. Well, like I say, it's a good idea.
Yeah.
You know, what I mean, I'd be for it. You know.
So, you know, as we start kind of getting towards the end of this, like, what is where do you, like, you were kind of talking about the industry and the culture, like what, like not saying what we just talked about, but what do you think is next for yourself and maybe the lowrider culture in general? Like, what do you think about it?
I don't know. It's hard to say. I mean, I wish they would pick it up a little bit, you know. And I'll tell you, you want to look at a lowrider super detail. I mean, there's some cars out here that are killing it. Like, God, things badass, man. But you know, what trips me out is the Japanese.
Yeah,
those guys, man. It's like they're so meticulous in their detail. I mean, I want to see some of these cars in person.
Yeah,
even the motorcycles.
Yeah, motorcycles are that way too.
That's ridiculous.
Right.
You know what it is?
It's passion.
Let's go.
It goes back to the Outliers book. You remember that part of that book where they were talking about how that, like it was more the Chinese culture, but how they were brought up. You know, a lot of cultures and generations were doing like rice fields and maintaining rice fields, and how disciplined you have to be to do that. It's a part of like the DNA of that culture of being disciplined. And then with Japanese lineage and culture and respect for, you know, elders and all this, it's a part of their culture that makes that so fine. It's reflected in their art, basically, right? And then you look at ours where, you know, you got kids that are 10 talking back to their parents and putting their families in you know, fucking, what do you call them, like retirement homes and shit. Like, it's different. It's a every man for their self over on this side of the pond. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it's hard. But you know what? What I've always said about lowrider is like, you don't gotta come to me at all if you don't want to, but build it the best way you can. It doesn't have to have a candy apple paint job. You don't have to have a flake on it. Remember the old days, and when they would have like just a pearl paint job with some nice striping. And back then, there was no Dayton's. There was True Spokes, there was Kragers, there was Supremes, and I don't know about you guys, but that's what got my eye.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The pearls, the nice striping, and then the fuzzy dashboard. Like, God, that was so badass. Now everybody's just trying to throw on 10 colors that doesn't make any sense. You know what I'm saying? There's no flow to it. I would rather have a pearl paint job with some nice striping and nice set of Supremes laid out.
Yeah.
Compared to, and I think what it is like, I know what they're trying to do. They're trying to keep up with the Joneses.
Yeah.
Well, he's got it, so I want it.
Yeah.
Stop following the trend and follow yourself.
Yeah.
Build car your way. You know what I mean? And I say that because, I mean, I remember back then, you know, lowriders weren't accepted by the hot rodders.
Yeah.
You know, you take a lowrider to a car show, and it's still like that in some places. Like, we don't want lowriders, it's only hot rods.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I like about Weiner's show, is that it's like a mix of everything.
Yep.
That's very well said. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there was fucking Lamborghinis in there. I'm like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
There's lowriders, there's Jeeps, there's motorcycles.
They even had a semi there one time, and that was cool.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
You know, but you know what? Doesn't matter if it's a lowrider or not. Everybody brought out their best, and it was cool.
Yeah. That's
Ask
cool,
you
man.
this. Do you think the lowrider culture is becoming too Hollywood? Because I see a lot of advertisements
movie,
and
dude.
stuff.
Oh,
where I see like advertising
got a
stuff
movie.
now.
Lowrider, you didn't see it? It had fucking Juice from Sons of Anarchy in it.
Yeah.
Dude.
That was dumb plot.
I didn't see it yet. I want to watch it, but
I'm gonna tell you about it then.
I want to watch it because I care. I'm interested, but it's kind of like one of those movies. Like if I watch it, then I know it's good or bad. If now it's just like a movie I want to check out.
I didn't like the plot. I was like, this is dumb.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Did you see magazines now with like models who are dressed in Chicano style?
Yeah.
And it drives the fucking shit out of me. I just can't stand that. When stuff becomes too Hollywood, it like bites on a new fashion. You know what I mean? It's like the new trend is to become.
Yeah, well, lowriders was just to represent who you were. You know, when you build a car, you know that was you. You know, and whether it's a lowrider, whether it's a hot rod, where it's just you. You know what you represent.
Individuality.
Yeah.
And when it becomes mainstream, everything becomes popular like that. It just saturates it, and it I don't know. It just disrespects it.
It does, and that's how I see some of these paint jobs. You know, they just want to be like everybody else.
Right.
It sounds like music to me, man. Is what it sounds like. It sounds like.
You know what? Yeah, it's true.
It sounds like how generationally we have a hard time looking at where things are going and understanding the connection. And it's kind of not to go against anything you're saying, but it just sounds like it's maybe if it's generational to where younger people are doing something that's so off the beaten path that it's hard for us older heads to be like, that's cool or not,
Right,
but.
Right. I have more respect for that. If a generation is going to come up and they're going to be dressed in a weird way or a weird fashion,
But it'd be different. I guess what would drive me crazy is if people were doing their own thing, but not paying respect to people that have done it for a while.
Right.
Like if like when you every once in a while, like on Facebook or whatever, you see like some new rapper, mumble rapper talking shit about who was Tupac, like that kind of shit. Like, motherfucker, if I
All
can
the
reach through here,
icy fucking tattoos on their face.
Yeah, and so like you see that, and it makes you like hate that culture.
Absolutely.
But there's probably somebody in that culture doing that music that does respect the elders. The elders, they're just doing their thing.
Like Boogie Down Productions, they're going to know who Run DMC, Cool Herc. They're going to know a lot of those early Bronx rappers that came up before.
It is true. I mean, I remember like it's funny, but when I was growing up, I mean, lowriders. I mean, if you're gonna jam out your jams, then it's gonna be Rick James. It's gonna be Barcades. It's gonna be Brick.
Some Bootsy Collins.
Yeah,
And then you had,
that was a lowrider.
And then he's like the Daz Band.
Yeah. Like, I mean, I probably got pissing people off, man, but I can't stand to see a lowrider come up, and all of a sudden you start hearing this ranchera music. I'm like, what the? That's not a lowrider. You know what I'm saying? Don't get me wrong. If you like the kind of music, that's cool, but I'm just saying, like, if you gotta keep it gangster, keep it gangster.
It's association displacement.
That's just me. That's my opinion. That I'm old school, I guess.
That's kind of where I was going earlier with that, too.
It's just like...
You're like the Clint Eastwood of the lowriders. Get off my lawn.
It's funny because we went to a show this Saturday, and I was playing some old funk, You guys heard of Brick?
Yeah.
And my buddies, and they looks at me like, what are you listening to? I looked at him, I was like, well, sorry, it's not Justin Bieber. And I go, but this is funk. This is a lowrider music right here,
Yeah.
And that was funny because he goes, I never heard of this band. And I go, and you're a lowrider?
Yeah.
Like I said, I mean, learn your history.
That's kind of like, going back to that movie they made about lowrider, you would think that it would be about like, talking about the culture of that and the generational gap. That's a story. The generational gap is going to be, it's evident. It's something we deal with in the motorcycle industry. You know what I mean? It's something that we're dealing with in the paint industry, in a sense. It's something that's going on in the lowrider industry. So it's hard for people to kind of see it and to realize what side of that gap they're on sometimes.
That's why we have to do a documentary. That's why
Yeah,
talking.
I mean,
I'm gonna do it.
It'd be great, and I would like to find, hear other people's views on how they look at it.
Yeah.
Because you know what? They may open up my eyes. I just look at things my way because this is the way I was brought up. This is the way I
It's an
see
important
things.
time step that
Exactly.
has to
So
happen.
me on this podcast, dude, I'm fucking the biggest hypocrite in the world. You know why? Because I start here, I listen to you, and you change my ideas, and I have to constantly be humbled in that thing because of perspective. You know, like I'm from Texas, right? When you come out here to these other cultures and these other areas, you get exposed to something in a way that you didn't see it in Texas or through social media. And so you have to be humble enough to accept that your way of thinking, which is me all the time, is like, okay, I was a fucking idiot for saying that. I'm not saying anybody's an idiot, but I'm just saying like I was not, you know, it's this thing. It's like, I'm not smart, you know, but I'm just kind of cultivated on conversations right now. You know, talking to you, talking to Yaffe like I did today, that changed a lot of my perspectives on certain aspects of the motorcycle industry that I thought I had figured out. You know, and same thing with music. I have a almost 18-year-old daughter who loves Pink Floyd, who's a mixed baby, who is now struggling with like whether or not it's cooler to be white or black.
That's classic right
you know
there,
what I mean?
Pink Floyd.
Yeah, those kind of
classic.
things.
That's never gonna go out.
Exactly. So there's all these types of things. I tried to show her things that are timeless and tell her, you know, like these Led Zeppelins and Pink Floyds and you know, even all these other hair bands from the 80s, they still have a fucking point in life where they like
they're still the baddest bands right now.
There's millennials out there that were conceived to Motley Crue, and that's a fact right now. So, you know,
Dude,
that Motley Crue
that have been conceived to like Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's somebody that got conceived to like Armageddon theme song, dude.
Yeah, Armageddon.
I gotta close my eyes.
That's
so
good.
There's, I don't know, man. Like the good thing about like podcasts, conversations, and the conversations you have with your people is just growing your thought process and stuff, and cultivating your mind. And I think that you got a very good point on a lot of stuff. There's a lot of things I'm thinking about now about the culture of low riding, and the paint style that is encompassing it, and figuring out how to, you know, like the complications of people coming into it and just copying and like, hey, I'm now a lowrider painter or builder, but I literally just did the same thing somebody else did, obviously at a probably not as good of a quality, you know, and that type of thing.
Yeah, you know, and the thing about lowriders, I mean, one thing that when I moved to California, you know, to go to Trade Tech, I mean, Cartoon invited me to be one of the baddest car clubs out there, and that was Lifestyle, you know, and I learned a lot being in there. I learned a lot, opened up my eyes to a lot of things too.
Yeah,
you know, I'm not an active member no more. You know, I wish them the best of luck. My time is done.
Yeah.
It's time for the new guys to take it and see what they got now.
Exactly.
But I learned a lot from being around some of those guys in there. They taught me a lot.
And I'm sure moving forward, like some of these lowrider clubs are going to be more staying traditional with what lowriding is and the type of wheels, the type of style of building. Then you get people that are also
style paint jobs, the style interiors.
Yeah. But you also get these younger generations that are still influenced by like our current world. And this is something I talk about with the chopper people, right? So out of nowhere, the last 15 years, you had this resurgence of people who love vintage 50s, 60s, 70s choppers and the culture surrounding it, just like the rockabilly thing, right? And the one thing, it's cool to see, it's like a spectacle, like it's cool. But when you think about it, this is the thing I ask myself and I ask other people that really love it, which I'm not saying you shouldn't love it, but you're spending your life where you could be creating your generation of what this is, mimicking yourself to be something that's already taken place, right? Yeah. So you there's nothing like, you're paying the ultimate homage. It's like being the cover band. You're the 2009 cover band for the 1970s style. So in 2030, do they have to also be the cover band for the 1970s, or can they look to the 2000s and see that this generation of cars, bikes, whatever, built a culture that now we can represent later?
I have an answer for that.
Action figures? I think we should make a Matt Andrews action figure. I think we should make a Bugs action figure.
Yeah.
We should
What do you think?
timestamp our generation that way.
I think you need to be bored.
Mm-hmm.
You need to be bored to create, because if you're constantly entertained and you're constantly absorbing other people, there's no room in your life to actually create on your own.
Mm-hmm.
If you're bored and you have to actually contemplate your own thoughts and develop them and materialize them into something that you could actually think of being creative, then you can create.
Mm-hmm.
But you have to have something where you're distasteful or dislike in the current situation that you're in to initiate that creation.
Yeah.
So, I mean, most waves of culture come from a reaction from the previous culture.
True.
So if you're just constantly absorbing the culture that you're in right now, and you're accepting it, and everything's great, you know, I have everything I need and everything's entertaining, you won't want to change. You won't want to react.
So I always thought it was funny because one of my good friends, Adam Garley, used to make this joke when we were kind of like getting interested in the vintage chopper culture, right?
Mm-hmm.
These guys loved they loved it. They dressed it. Their houses looked like it was the 1980s fucking Easy Rider magazine pull out. Their clothes, their vans, their choppers. And the funny thing, the analogy I always made is like they look like they're transplants from there, and then they pull out an iPhone 10.
Right.
And then, you know, their life is all about technology and how they're using it to portray this older lifestyle, which I'm guilty of it. I think it's cool too, you know, but it's kind of like this weird, like, you're in the Matrix, right? You know, you're like, you're living now, but you're in love with then. Like, kind of like the way Westerns were so popular in the 50s and 60s because it was a recent culture for them, right?
Yeah.
In
There's some old man
1940,
that
50, and
was
60s.
all, like, literally from
he was
the old
born
West.
in 1890, and he's
Right.
like, fuck, this is my childhood, or this is my parents' childhood, and that seems so much better of a lifestyle than the current one I'm living in.
Right.
You know, and it's kind of weird because, like I said, we've only had media for 100 years now. We haven't had it we've had books, which could be true or false, but, you know, how long did it take to draw?
Even there, you have a sense of boredom. You have a sense of creating something in your mind. You know, you're not force fed the book. The book is giving you kind of like a skeletal version of what the idea is.
Yeah, there's just philosophy, man. That shit'll fucking, you know, you'll have you sitting here thinking like you're Bruce Lee, like be water, you know, and shit like that. And it's just, it's hard to think that way because you get in this mind fuck place of like trying to understand why are people doing this in this culture? Why are they not thinking about it this way? Why are they choosing this over that? And I mean, think about like maybe a good reason why a lot of us have ever gotten into cars and that in the first place. Vagina. You know?
Is there something that you want to build next? I know you just did the Impala that I saw at your show, or I saw at your art show. Part of that there. Is there something that right now?
Yeah, I'm working on a 6.7 Impala right now.
Nice.
So
Fastback?
yeah,
Nice.
exactly.
Yeah.
Those layouts so nice.
Yeah, they do.
You know, so
And that's a personal?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I got two of them. You know, so and the 7.2 maybe. I do. I'll have four of them. Parts cars too.
5.
Yeah,
Right.
you know, so
Are you gonna sell the 72?
I got a couple people ask me about it already.
Yeah, that guy from Paint Huffer's been up your ass.
Oh yeah,
Just saying.
yeah. That's clean. You seen
Oh, it
it?
is. I saw it.
Yeah, super clean. A 72 Impala. And I like it because it's old school.
I like it.
You know, real
That
clean.
blazer you did was badass too. You just did the 86
Yeah,
or 85.
we did that in about a week and a half. That thing kicked my butt.
I
Yeah.
saw some of it at your show as well. Do you still
Yeah.
have that?
Oh, that's my buddy's.
Oh, okay.
I did it for him because his house is real bad, so we don't know much. Hopefully, still stick around for a while. But
Nice.
I gave him that as a gift.
Nice. That's good.
You know, so it was
Yeah.
cool.
It'll be cool
Well-
to see your projects. Yeah, see what you got.
Well, shit, man, we're coming up on 3 hours now.
Really?
Yeah. So
quick.
You talk about Matt.
And he just opened up this Kit Kat, finally.
we just did a Dances with Wolves movie right now.
Oh man.
So I mean, I guess in hindsight, man, like tell everybody like your brand, your Instagram. Do you have a website, things like that?
Yeah. Instagram. ElBugs did it. All one word. Just go on there. You can see all my stuff if you want.
Is it ElBugs did it or just Bugs did it?
ElBugs.
ElBugs did it?
Yeah.
Okay.
ElBugs did it. All one word. ElBugs did it.
Is it Spanish?
Yes. It means ElBugs did it. But yeah, like I said, I mean, just check out the stuff. See if you guys like it.
Yeah. Now, I know a lot of painters follow you, and a lot of the painters that listen to this, I guarantee you they follow you and they know all about it. And I'm sure they're happy to hear some of your insights of your growth and, you know, upbringing in this shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I tell you what, I mean, it's not as easy as everything said it is, man. But it's a passion, and I fight for it, you know, and just keep going with it.
That's cool. There's people on here that are saying Bugs has to be one of my biggest inspirations for custom painting.
Nice.
Oh, thanks.
Dude's a legend.
What about me?
Yeah, hey, thank you.
No, but and then Matt, you know, Matt's been on here before. He's been a guest before. So thank you for coming out and bringing.
Yeah,
these are pretty good, man. Fucking Huss Brewing Blonde. I guess I'm Scottsdale. There we go.
We're gonna go drink more.
Yeah, well, it's called Scottsdale, but that place is actually right down the street.
Oh, for real? That's
Yeah,
pretty
it's
good.
like 3
Then again,
exits
dude,
down.
I was sitting with Ramjet last night, and I think Coors Light is the white trash beer.
Right.
And I had like 8 of them.
Oh, it's like drinking Gatorade.
It's like drinking.
Yeah.
It's like beer water, dude.
Yeah, dude, I could drink like an eight Coors Lights and go to the gym.
Yeah.
What's up, KDS?
I drank 8 Coors Lights and drove home. That's what happened.
What up, dude?
What were you gonna say?
Oh. On Instagram?
Oh yeah, Hypnotic Air, Instagram and Facebook, and hypnoticair.com.
Nice.
Cool.
Cool. Thank you guys.
I'm gonna miss it. I'm gonna
Paint
miss
Huffer.
Arizona. My shop is.
Okay. Paint Huffer Metal Flake. Brian on it all the time.
Yep.
Thank you.
All right,
Hey,
Brian.
thank you for helping me out with this trip too, man, Brian.
Oh, dude,
Hey,
you're
all the
welcome,
shit,
brother.
you know.
Yeah, thank you guys so much for coming out here to the facility. All you guys that are watching right now, we're going to be doing a bunch more of these live feeds. I think, from what I understand, Jace is possibly coming back in November, and we're talking about doing a show out here, maybe February, March timeframe. So we've got some
Yeah.
cool stuff
Well, we
coming down the
might
pike.
be hooking up at SEMA.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
SEMA
Maybe.
as
Yeah.
well. Yeah,
We'll be at SEMA for sure.
doing some good stuff. So
I won't be painting for SEMA unless they pay me.
right.
There you go. Stop using us.
Wink, wink.
Stop using painters.
I'm gonna be there like I'm gonna be like the union guy coming through Walmart. Like, hey, have you heard about this new union?
Cutting the airlines.
Yeah, hey,
Yeah.
thank you guys. I appreciate all you guys that have jumped in. Check out these guys, Fast Life Garage. You can check out this podcast. You usually have what, about 3 to 4 a month?
We do 4 a month, and obviously we're big in the motorcycle world and the paint world. My job that pays my bills is paint work, but you know it's mainly motorcycles. So the goal is to bridge the gap and bring painters on and give them a voice and things like that. So yeah,
My buddy Matt here. Matt's been a big, huge help with Paint Huffer Metal Flake since, I don't know,
it's a wall.
a couple hours ago.
Yeah,
Since I met you.
like, yeah.
So, no, it's been a while, but I mean, we got some good projects coming up as well.
Yeah.
Bugs. Dude, Bugs, my man. Well, thank you guys so much for everybody that's chimed in tonight. We weren't really intending on doing a live video, but I think this was definitely
Good idea,
something
yeah.
really great.
That was
and,
good.
We'll be doing more here very soon.
For sure.
All right, guys.
Cool.
Good night.
Peace. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Thank you, Bugs, for sitting down and giving us some of your story and some of your insights on the industry and the paint world. Also, thank you, Mr. Andrews. And as always, Paint Huffer Metal Flake, thank you, sir. Brian, love you. Appreciate all the stuff you've done for us since damn near day one. I also want to thank our sponsors, man. Simpson Motorcycle Helmets on Instagram and SimpsonMotorcycleHelmets.com. Dream Rides John on Instagram and TeamDreamRides.com and Fast Life at checkout for 10% off. Big Bear Choppers on Instagram and BigBearPerformance.com. And Kevin, give him a call at 909-478-7788. Paint Huffer Metal Flake on Instagram and PaintHuffer.com and FastLife12 at checkout for 10% off. Thundermax EFI on Instagram and ShopTmax.com. Lexan Moto on Instagram and LexanMotorcycle.com and Fast Life at checkout for 15% off. Thank you guys for doing this. And as I've said before, please check out our sponsors. Those guys are people that I think that you guys are could use. You know, they're not some fucking big dick pill kind of ads. These are industry people that bring quality products and services to our industry. So check them out. Always let them know you heard about them through the podcast. And like I said, guys, thank you for the Patreon support. And don't hesitate to help us out. We're going to be using that at SEMA next week to talk to Brian Clock, Taylor Schultz. We're going to get FXR Division. Actually, we're going to get Justin from Torch and his buddy and your guy's buddy, Brian from TPJ. And that's going to be a fun one. You're gonna have to wait and hear that one. And we're gonna be lining up a couple more, given that we can get the people separated from SEMA to sit down for a couple hours and do podcasts. So thank you guys for checking us out. We'll be back on Thursday with none other than Big Chris and Justin from FXR Division.